Hello, everyone, and welcome to Welland Stadium as we're just minutes away from first pitch here between the Welland Jackfish and the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm Brendan Lang here with Spencer Tangway, and before we get going, we'll take a look at the starting pitcher for the Welland Jackfish, Wyatt Hummel, making his second appearance and his first start of the season.
Yeah, it's a good time to get him going here. The Jackfish coming off a huge win. They're 3-0 to start the season this season. First time the Jackfish open up a season 3-0, and it's the first time they get 3 consecutive wins. So Wyatt will come on the mound today, try to extend that, and it's his first start in a Jackfish uniform, something he'll look to be impressive on a beautiful afternoon at the park.
And the Maple Leaf lineup opposing him looks like this. Leading off and playing in left field is Grant Tamain. Greg Carrington plays center field and bats second. Garrett Takamatsu, the second baseman, hits third. John Salazzo plays third base and bats fourth. Aiden McCaskey plays first base and hits fifth. Brady Cirkonik, the catcher, will bat sixth. Batting seventh, Damon Toppoli, the designated hitter. Nico Canonisho will bat eighth and play right field, and Noah Chan, the shortstop, bats ninth to round out the order. So Grant Tamain, the left fielder, will step up to the plate and lead off the ball game here for the Maple Leafs. Tamain off to a hot start at the plate so far this season. Hummel working from the full windup, and the first pitch is on the way right down the middle. It's a fastball for strike one, and we were talking a little bit before the broadcast. His fastball has been really good, especially in that first outing against the Majors.
Yeah, he uses it a lot, and he's got a lot of control with it, so use what you know, what you can do, and it's simple baseball, and that's what the Jackfish are all about this season. Keep it simple, and just try to play your game. No need to get fancy, and try to win simple baseball games.
And they have been playing simple, stealing a lot of bases, but they got some power in their last game. 2 home runs, one coming off the bat of Nicholson, and the other one from Gio Morello.
I believe also that is the first multi-home run game in the Jackfish history here at the stadium. I believe we've done it on the road a couple of times, but never here at Welland Stadium.
The 1-2 pitch is fouled straight back. And the count's still 1-2. I got to leave it. Hummel still working from the full windup. Nobody out here in the top of the first inning. And here comes the 1-2. Breaking ball, and it slipped out of his hands. Finished up behind the hitter. And the count is even at 2-2.
Boy, did he want that pitch back right when he threw it. He kind of looked concerned, actually, for the batter Tamain right when it left his hand. And he hopped off the mound immediately. Tamain's been a staple in this Toronto Maple Leaf organization for a long time. Been a huge bat for the Leafs.
And he slashes one foul down the first base side. In 3 games so far this season, he's hitting .417. He started off the year batting down in the number 9 spot, but got off to such a hot start. He's now hitting in that leadoff spot, trying to get on. As we know, they have a great hitter in Takamatsu, batting third in this lineup today. And here comes the 2-2 from Hummel. Fastball up high, and the count now runs full.
Yeah, 251 games played. This will be his 252nd, and he's already 939 at-bats. So a guy that's played 8 consecutive seasons for the Leafs, a huge, huge threat that the Jackfish will face in the top of the order.
Trying to get on any way possible. Here comes a 3-2 from Hummel, and it misses up high. So the first batter walks, and the Leafs have a runner at first. And here comes the center fielder, Carrington.
Well, there's a way you have to find an answer to bounce back after a pitch that went over the head of Tamain, and that's what we'll remember from that at-bat is, it's a walk, but that'll be a pitch you'll want back, as that one clearly got away from Hummel.
So Hummel now, early on, is going to have to work out of the stretch with a runner standing at first base. And the first pitch to Carrington fouled straight back. And he jumps ahead 0-1. He got ahead of the first hitter, Tamain. He was up 1-2. But then, he, like you said, that ball slipped out of his hands, missed behind the hitter, and then 2 straight balls after that to put a runner on. As he takes a look at first base, Tamain takes his lead. And here comes the 0-1. Missed up high. And the count's now 1-1. The 1-1 home. Just on the outside corner. That's strike two. Looked like the pitch that he walked to Maine to may have been a little bit high. Could have been a strike. Was borderline. That time, he definitely got a call on the outside. And he's ahead now in the count 1-2. Nobody out. Runner standing at first base. 1-2 pitch breaking ball. Once again, seemed to slip out of the hand. That time to the left-handed hitter. Finished off the outside corner.
Yeah, back-to-back batters now. In a 1-2 situation, he's unable to close out the strikeout and just settle down. Now 2-2. See if he'll able to find a way here.
2-2 pitch up high. And the count's now 3-2 with Tremaine standing over there at first base. You have to wonder, full count, nobody out, maybe put that runner in motion early on in the game. See if you can open up a hole on the infield and get a knock. Here comes the 3-2. Popped up, foul territory. Hunt going over, he's going to give it a look, but it'll be well foul. Down on the berm down there on that left field line, and the count remains at 3-2. On the pitch, Tremaine was not running.
No.
And Toronto more of a station-to-station team, especially with the ballpark they play in. A lot of home runs hit there.
Very true. Yeah, there's complete different styles of play and complete different ballparks. Go from one extreme to the other when you visit Toronto and come to Welland. So it'll be a good matchup to see the two contrasts of style and see which one works better when you get picture-perfect weather. So it's a very neutral day for him.
Fastball misses up high. He loses Carrington, so back-to-back walks to start the game for Hummel. And that'll have two runners on now for Takamatsu, who won the MVP a season ago. So not a guy you want to see coming up to the plate with runners on, as Ricky Pilateri is going to go to the mound and have a chat with his starting pitcher.
Well, I think it's a good time just to simply settle down and say, you know, you're on the mound for a reason, a part of the starting rotation. You have to find a way to get that out, get the crowd into it a little bit here. First time this season, the Jackfish in the first inning have faced a lot of, adversity and trouble from the opposing team. Fourth straight home game for the Jackfish, which you don't often see in the IBL as well. So you got to be able to keep that, momentum alive for the fans as they come in thinking this is a 3-0 ball team. And back-to-back walks to start, not ideal when you have the reigning MVP coming up to bat here with two on.
And after him, Salazzo stands on deck, another guy with a lot of power. As you mentioned, the contrast in these two teams. One built for speed, the other one built to hit the long ball. In Toronto's last game, they also had a multi-home run game, their first of the season.
Yeah, the top of the order for Toronto, today's lineup is absolutely dominant. It kind of hinders off as we get to the 6, 7, 8, 9 spots of the order. So they have to be able to control the top of the order. And Toronto so far doing an excellent job of getting base runners aboard.
So two runners on base. Hummel facing the number 3 hitter Takamatsu after the visit from Pilateri, and he runs it inside and drills him. Started him with a fastball, caught him, looked like on the bicep, maybe on that elbow guard, and the bases are going to be loaded with nobody away for the third baseman, Salazzo.
Well, there's not much more you can say if you want to just hit the restart button and forget this even happened, as that's 3 straight walks. This one hit by a pitch. And just like that, there's a little bit of movement in the Jackfish bullpen. Not even an out into this ball game.
Looks like Brandon Underhill getting a baseball down there. So bases are loaded for the left-handed hitting third baseman, Salazzo. First pitch to him, fouled straight back. Looked like it went off the glove of Cocker. And good to see Hummel get ahead of this hitter, although he has gotten ahead a few times in this inning, just not quite able to finish off the batters.
Yeah, he's been on the doorstep of it out a couple of times. We mentioned 1 and 2 counts to the first couple of batters, and both times, 3 straight balls to follow.
Time called to the plate. Salazzo, the Mississauga native, hitting just 200 on the season so far, but he does have power. Hit 6 home runs for the Maple Leafs a season ago. He bats now with a chance to drive in a bunch of runs here in the first inning with the bases loaded. Next pitch to him is outside, and the count runs even at 1-1. As Underhill begins to throw down in that left field bullpen. Hummel's got his side. Now he comes set, pitching out of the stretch. And here comes the 1-1 breaking ball just outside. Unable to locate that pitch early on. And the count's 2-1.
Yeah, outside of the plate, he's really had a tough time finding, the edge of the strike zone and controlling that breaking ball. That's 3 consecutive times now he's tried that pitch. All 3 have been outside and away.
So a 2-1 count to Salazzo. The pitch is down low, and the count runs to 3-1. And nowhere to put him right now. You got to come right after the number 4 hitter. And Salazzo will be looking to do damage here in a hitter's count. Runners get their leads. Hummel comes set, and here comes the 3-1. Fastball popped up. That'll get away foul into the parking lot. And now it's 3-2.
Well, you have to keep doing the same work here. Like you said, you have to come right out of 3-2 count. And if you're Toronto, there's no point of swinging. As you've seen, 3 straight walks. Got to earn your first strikeout here and settle in.
And I was talking to the manager, Esri, before the game, and he said Hummel likely be a staple in that rotation going forward, along with Jake Harford and Rob Nixon, who have also started games for the Jackfish. Next pitch, grounded to third base, and that will be a foul ball. Ethan Hunt sprawling out. Couldn't get a glove on it, but just to the left of the third base bag.
That just went foul, and I mean just went foul. As Hunt got a piece of it off the glove and then almost made a miraculous play, but it would have easily scored a run for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and they'll go up 1-0, possibly 2. So it's a lucky break for the Jackfish here with the still bases loaded and still nobody out.
So no score here, nobody out, 3-2 count to the number 4 hitter, Salazzo. And here comes the offering from Hummel, up and outside. That's ball 4, bases loaded walk. And the Maple Leafs take an early 1-0 lead as Grant Tomaine comes across the plate.
You have to wonder how much longer can you let Hummel continue to do this, and how quick the warm-up will be for Underhill in the bullpen, and when Esri will make his walk out there. Nothing you want to see in the first inning of a ball game with nobody out. A 1-0 lead with 4 straight walks.
Not only the 1-0 lead as the pitch misses up and away, but if he can't get through the first inning, that's a lot of stress that you're putting on that bullpen, especially playing Toronto again tomorrow in this home and home, going there to Christie Pitts.
Yeah, very tough situation, and in a situation the Fish have not been in this season as a 3-0 start. The pitching has been a staple. It's been one of the best parts of the ball team so far, something they're not used to seeing. So this will be adversity. Find a way to battle out of this and really show what the Jackfish are made of, not just at the plate and on the bases, but can they throw pitches as well?
So Hummel got one over there, got a swing and a miss on a fastball. See if he sticks with the hard stuff. He does, but misses outside, and it's 2-1 now. As Underhill continues to throw down there in the Jackfish bullpen, and the bases remain loaded. This is Aiden McCaskey, the first baseman. Left-handed hitter awaits, and a swing and a miss. That's twice he's gone upstairs with a fastball, got swings and misses. Likely will stick with that here because he hasn't had a sharp breaking ball to start.
No doubt. Got to stick with what, is working right now. Even if it is that only the one pitch, have to find a way to get your first out of the ball game.
Here comes the 2-2. Swing and a miss on a high fastball. He struck him out. And there's one away, but the bases do remain loaded. For Brady Circanic, the catcher today.
Well, if you're Toronto, you come in off the road, and you get a 1-0 lead with 4 straight walks, yet to even hit a ball. You can't ask for a better start than that, as the Jackfish, like you mentioned, already warmed up in the bullpen. This is something that'll really be different for both these ball teams.
Circanic pops one in the air, shallow center field. Going back is the second baseman, Dupuis. Now Morello calls him off, makes the play. Strong throw to the plate, holds the runner at third. And there's 2 down on a huge out for Hummel, not only getting the out, but not allowing any of the base runners to advance.
Good throw to get that right back in, as you saw the base runner on third try to inch a little bit closer to home, as he thought he might be able to get there in time with a good leadoff. But unfortunately, after tagging up, not a chance at all with a good arm from Morello sending that in.
And Morello playing in center field today started off the season, played the first 2 games at first base. Zarly Cena back at first base today. And Morello in his more natural position in the outfield. So Damon Toppoli stands into the box, and he takes one over the inside corner for strike one. And if you're Toronto coming in here, you get the bases loaded. Yes, you do get the one on the walk, but you'd think on the road, top of the first, you'd like to get a lot more than that with the bases loaded and nobody away.
Well, it's like I said, they haven't even hit the ball yet, and they already have that 1-0 lead. It's almost a gift, as you'd say.
He grounds it out to second base. Dupuis picks it up, flips it to the bag, and they tightrope out of danger, only giving up 1 run on the bases loaded walk. So the Maple Leafs do get one. They lead it 1-0. Jackfish coming to bat in the bottom of the first here at the Pond. Bottom of the first inning we go, and starting on the mound for the Toronto Maple Leafs is Sebastian Kahn, making his second start of the season. In that first outing, went 5 innings, only allowing 1 run.
Yeah, this will be a good test for him, as he's been a really good pitcher for the Maple Leafs. And the Maple Leafs will look to answer off of that pretty impressive first inning. They get that gift of a run, and then they kind of settle in as the Jackfish defense bails out Hummel for Welland. But now we'll look to see if the pitching staff can keep the answer and find a way to get the Maple Leafs, a 1-0 lead through 1. But the Jackfish bats, the top of the order has been really dominant and a destructive bats at the plate for the Jackfish. So we'll see if that top of the order will be the same.
So Sebastian Kahn will face a Jackfish lineup that looks like this. Gio Morello, the center fielder, bats first. Tyler Dupuis, the second baseman, hits second. And Brandon Nicholson plays right field and bats third. Ethan Hunt in his second game with the Jackfish plays third base and hits fourth. Hogan Brown, the left fielder, bats fifth. Matt Hildebrand, the DH, hits sixth. Sam Cocker does the catching, bats seventh. Zarly Cena making his second consecutive start at first base, hits eighth. And Mike Wagner, the shortstop, bats ninth. And want to highlight Zarly Cena there in that lineup, getting that second start at first base. Had a bit of a tough season last year, but he got off to a great start in that first game on Thursday.
Yeah, you mentioned it last year, coming in from the trade from Kitchener. Came in with a little bit of expectation as going to be a guy that, the Jackfish could really rely on in the order. Didn't live up to that in the first year, but boy, has he come back early in this season. Plays a position he's not normally used to in first base, but at the plate, really dominant. And he had a great defensive game as well at first base on Thursday night.
Well, talking to him before the game, he said he hadn't played at first base in 5 years. Said he was an infielder when he started out in college, then was moved to the outfield, and since then hasn't really been back there. But you mentioned it, he did look comfortable as Morello swings and misses at a fastball, and the count's now 1-2.
Well, it'll be a day he'd like to remember for sure, as he is an Ag Regional police officer, and it is First Responders Day here at the Pond. So a little bit of, I'm sure, more excitement to get up this morning.
Morello hits the ball back up the middle. Moving over is Takamatsu, picks it up, throws it to first. It's in time to get the first out of the inning. Morello retired on a ground ball to second.
Second baseman, number 6.
Good little scoop and play from the second baseman today for the Toronto Maple Leafs. as Takamatsu, like I mentioned, he's been a staple for the Maple Leafs and made it look easy. And the little routine ground ball didn't seem as easy from up here as he was on the run, kind of picked it up on the backhand, able to make that play easily.
So the second baseman, Tyler Dupuis, walks in, and he takes one down low. Dupuis off to a great start to the season at the plate, hitting .417. He's also driven in 4 runs. And the 1-0 is just catches the top of the zone, and the count's 1-1.
Yeah, you can't ask much more from Dupuis, batting 5 for 12 to start the year. Fantastic from a guy who really calls St. Catherine's home and excited to play for a local team. He really adds a lot into the batting order. And like I said, the 1, 2, 3, 4 hitters for the Jackfish have been dominant. A couple of home runs last game from Morello and Nicholson. Just explosive in the top of the order.
And he shoots the ball to third base that gets by Salazzo into left field. A base hit for Dupuis. He's going to take a wide turn around first, but throw on the brakes. And he gets on with one away. And if you remember, in that first game of the season, he was hitting in the number 5 spot. He's found a home in that number 2 spot. He's likely going to stay there, especially if he keeps hitting this way, as he gets on ahead of Brandon Nicholson, who had a huge home run in the game on Thursday, in the first inning as well, to get the Jackfish on the board.
If Nicholson could have a guy on base every single time he comes up to the plate, it would be exactly what Brian Ezery would like. This is why the order was made this way. Nicholson, a guy who could really explode when he is hot.
Runners on the move. Dupuis slides in there, and he's safe. That's the 6th stolen base on the season already for Tyler Dupuis. So he's got a bat, and he's got some speed. Showed it off right there, and now runner in scoring position for Nicholson, and this is a great opportunity for the Jackfish to get that early run back, and that's why it was so important for Hummel and the defense to limit Toronto only to that one run.
The Jackfish are able to score runs just simply by turning that single into a double off a stolen base, get him into scoring position, and a simple single now makes it a 1-1 game, and that all of a sudden you erase that disastrous start from Hummel out of your mind, and all of a sudden it could be an even 1-1 game after a terrible, like we mentioned, 4 straight walks. That's all gone just by a single right here.
So a quick meeting on the mound. Didn't take too long, as Serkanik went out there to just have a quick chat with Sebastian Kahn.
I don't even know if he said 5 words.
Looked like he went out there and just said, throw it over the plate.
Yeah, pretty much.
1-1 count, one away, runner in scoring position. Maple Leafs lead it 1-0 on a bases-loaded walk in the top of the first inning. And that pitch is taken over the inside corner, strike 2. Nicholson now with 2 strikes. Going to try to put a ball in play. You see he has a bit of a hole over there on that right side of the infield with the second baseman Takamatsu playing close to the bag, respecting the speed of Dupuis out there. The 1-2 pitch to Nicholson, breaking ball, bounces in the dirt. Huge block by Serkanik. And the count's 2-2.
I must say I'm not a fan of when both teams wearing the identical colors. Jackfish in their blue uniforms with the green and white trim. Toronto, dark blue road uniforms with the white trim. Boy, they are very similar type of blues. You look out there, you think they're on the shift, but no, that is Nicholson at second. Excuse me.
Dupuis moving to third base. There's not going to be a throw as he dives in head first.
As you mentioned it, Dupuis at second, Nicholson at the plate. You look out, you thought they have the shift with an extra infielder. No, it's just the sliding Dupuis as he's stolen another bag.
And you were...
you talked about the hole, and I had to look again. I go...
You were thinking there, why is Noah Chan, the shortstop, running to third base? And Nicholson swings and misses, looked like a changeup. Just got in under the hands. And a strikeout, and that'll bring up Ethan Hunt, the number 4 hitter and third baseman, looking for his first hit of the season. He played his first game on Thursday against Hamilton, went 0 for 5. This will be a big spot right here.
Yeah, it comes in with a little bit of a pressure now, and a 2-out situation with the tying run just 90 feet away. And you were saying he's got one of the most unorthodox styles and setups in the batter's box as he fouls that one away.
Yeah, he said he likes to stay low. That's something he's always done, and told me when he was younger he had a problem with dropping his hands too early, so he says this just kind of keeps him in the right spot to get through the ball as he bats with a runner at third base. Dupuis takes the lead. Next pitch inside, fouled at the plate. He's down 0-2. He's going to have to battle now.
Well, good work from Kahn. Good movement on that pitch as he jammed Hunt at the dish, and now behind 0-2. Not an ideal spot. Trying to look for your first hit with that tying run on third.
So an 0-2 count. Kahn working from the full windup, and the 0-2 on the way. It's a fastball up high and away. And the count's now 1-2, and that pitch right there from Kahn wasn't really anywhere close to the zone. Really the definition of a waste pitch. But it allows Hunt to get back into the count just a little bit. Here comes the 1-2 breaking ball. Swing and a miss. And the Jackfish strand Dupuis at third base. So they do get a runner to third. Can't score him. Maple Leafs lead at 1-0 as we go to the top of the second. We go to the top of the second here at Welland Stadium. And before we get going, we'll take a look at the defensive alignment for the Jackfish. Playing in left field is Hogan Brown. Gio Morello plays in center field. And Brandon Nicholson plays right. Ethan Hunt making his second consecutive start at third base. Mike Wagner, the shortstop. Tyler Dupuis plays second. Zarly Cena over there at first base. We talked about him a little bit earlier on in the broadcast. And Sam Cocker is the battery mate for Wyatt Hummel.
This Toronto Maple Leaf lineup, a very young lineup for the Maple Leafs with the couple of veterans in the lineup that really round out the batting order. But here's a guy only 19 years of age.
And he pops a ball up into right field. Coming in is the right fielder Nicholson, and he makes the catch. Little bit of a tricky play right there. You had the second baseman Dupuis going out. Obviously called off at the last second by the right fielder. Made a last-ditch effort, but he did make the catch. And that's huge for Hummel to get first pitch, first out of this second inning after he threw a lot of pitches in the first.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we were just talking off air, trying to find a way to settle back in. You throw that many pitches and you throw that many balls, it gets mentally tough to come back on that mound, as that one misses high and inside. But he's got to find that way. If you're going to be that starting rotation guy, you need to find a way to find your own groove, settle in, and get those balls back over the plate and keep this Jackfish only in the ball game, but only a one-run disadvantage at the moment.
So he missed up and in once again, and that's been the spot. You said it off the air as well. That's been the spot he's been missing, to that arm side and high. Missed twice there to the number 9 hitter Chan, the shortstop today for the Maple Leafs. And the count's 2-0 with one away. Maple Leafs lead at 1-0, and it's fouled away. And right there, that's that velocity once again. He got in on the hands of Chan, and he was very tardy on it.
When he settles in, he's got, probably one of the best arms in the rotation, as he can really throw that fastball. But I wonder if he's almost, not comfortable on the mound. It's been a wet couple of days, to say the least, but he definitely does not seem comfortable or himself so far through the first inning and a bit.
So he misses down low, and it's 3-1 now. And facing the number 9 hitter, you'd like to retire him. Don't want to go back to the top of the order into Maine with a runner on base. The 3-1 pitch. Down low, it's ball 4. So he walks the number 9 hitter, Chan, and they go back to the top of the order now with the left fielder, Tamain. In his first at-bat, he drew a leadoff walk and then came around to score the only run so far for the Maple Leafs.
Tamain does what he does best, and he's able to punish teams for it. We'll see if the Jackfish can find an answer here. They were able to only keep the damage to 1 run. So we'll see if they can settle down here. Only that 1 base runner so far, with an out though this time.
So 1 away, runner takes his lead at first, and that's a pitch right over the outside corner. It's strike 1, and that's a good spot for Hummel to be staying. He's thrown a lot of pitches to his arm side, able to get that one on the outside to a righty and get the first strike. He's now ahead 0-1 with Chan leading off at first base. And 1 away, Maple Leafs lead it 1-0, fouled away down near that first base side dugout, and Hummel's way up. It's 0-2.
Much more comfortable, like you said, trying to go across the plate on the outside of the strike zone to the right-handed batters, as when he goes inside, he seems to be losing control very quickly.
Long look at first base, now fires the 0-2, strike 3 looking. Over the outside corner, Tamain rung up, and there's 2 down.
Very similar pitch to the first and second, as he's trying, like I said, trying to keep it on the outside of the plate. It'll be different now, as he has a lefty coming up against him. But a beautiful pitch on the outside of the strike zone, fastball once again. That's his go-to, and it has been dominant so far.
So it's the center fielder, Greg Carrington. He also walked. And now here goes the runner from first base. The throw down from Cocker, it is not in time. It actually went off the glove of Wagner. Sliding in safely is Chan. And now a runner in scoring position for Toronto. It looked like the throw may have beat him.
Yeah.
But a little bit to the first base side of second base, and Wagner couldn't hang on.
I think exactly what you just said. If he throws that a little more in line with the bag, because the ball bounced off his glove. It looked like he had to move his glove at the last second to catch it. And with doing so, the ball actually did not, hit the right spot of the glove where he wanted it to go, bounced off it, and unable to make the grab.
So Carrington getting a chance with a runner in scoring position now. Still looking for his first RBI of the season as he sits in a 1-0 count. 2 away, Maple Leafs lead at 1-0. And the 1-0 pitch, fastball just down low. And it's 2-0 now with the very dangerous Takamatsu standing on deck. Carrington hitting just 167 through 4 games here on this 2022 season. That one's a strike over the outside corner, and that's a pitch right there that home plate umpire Chris Walters has been calling. A little bit of a wider strike zone here to start.
Well, we'll have to take it right now for sure. It's just to be able to get that confidence, outwork both sides of that strike zone.
So a 2-1 count to the number 2 hitter, Carrington. Runner standing out there second base. He goes for third. Swing and a miss. The throw down. It is not in time. From our vantage point up here, it looked like the throw was there. Now, his foot must have just gotten in underneath the tag. The tag did come up a little bit high on the leg.
That is the only way that makes sense. And Cocker did take a second to throw that ball to the third base bag, but that was on the money. It looked perfect, but he must have just slid underneath the glove.
That's Jeff Rose over there at third base making the call. So a 2-2 count. Runner just 90 feet away now. Pitches inside. Almost got Carrington, but he just bent out of the way of it, and the count runs full.
Well, 2 huge stolen bases by the Maple Leafs. Bottom of the order man, Noah Chan. 2 outs, though. Big pitch here, 3-2.
And here comes the full count offering, swing and a miss. He got the strikeout to retire the side. So the Jackfish, they got a runner to third, didn't score him last inning. Now the Maple Leafs get a runner to third, and he doesn't score either. So it's still 1-0 as the Jackfish come to bat in the bottom of the second. So here comes Hogan Brown to lead off in the bottom of the second inning for the Jackfish. The number 5 hitter in the lineup, Matt Hildebrandt, the DH, waits on deck, and Sam Cocker, the catcher, is due up third in this inning. Brown hitting from the left side, went hitless through the first 2 games. Had 2 hits in the game on Thursday night. So starting to come alive here as he takes outside. And we've seen it in batting practice. He does have a great swing from the left side. And he's shown that now, hitting the ball hard a few times over the last couple games.
Yeah, a very smooth swing that you'd think would almost work every time. It's almost like a video game swing in a way. Just a beautiful swing through the ball. And in batting practice, you just mentioned it perfectly. You think he'd be a good top-of-the-order hitter. And he struggled in his first couple of games. Really settled in. Now batting .273. And a pretty good bat for the Jackfish as of late.
So he tried to check his swing right there, but I don't think that mattered. It was a called strike by the home plate umpire. And it counts 2-1. And yeah, hitting .273 now. So like you said, coming on very nicely. Settling into that number 5 spot. And that's a huge bat to have going when you can get that top of the order on base like they've been doing so far in the early going this season. Have a chance to drive in a lot of runs. 3-1 pitch, skied in the air, left field. Going back as the shortstop Chan, now coming in as the left fielder to Maine. And he makes the catch. And there's 1 gone for the DH, Matt Hildebrandt.
Worth mentioning for sure, Con, an ERA of 1.80. The Jackfish will have to find a way to get him to throw a lot of pitches here and use his arm as much as possible. We talked about it. The home and home between these 2 ball clubs is happening this weekend. You want to try to get him to throw as many pitches as often as you can. As the Toronto Maple Leafs did that really well in the first inning, the Jackfish need to find an answer here. Hogan Brown, of course, popping out there. But with Hildebrandt coming up, look at that right there.
He rifled it into center field, but right at the center fielder, Carrington. Didn't even have to move his feet out there. And there's 2 away quickly.
Yeah, exactly what you don't want. Those quick innings, quick outs with an ERA of 1.80. You know the guy can throw, and he's a really dominant pitcher. You have to find a way to find a weakness and find a crack and get back in this ball game. 1-0 game could easily stay 1-0 if the pitchers are going to be keeping the numbers low and really dominating on the mound.
So the catcher, Sam Cocker, comes to the plate and takes one outside. It's 1-0, and Cocker's been a great addition to this team. The defense has been very strong behind the plate, and he's hitting .300. Batting near the bottom of the order for the Jackfish as he takes low. It's 2-0 now. And again, talked about that middle of the order bat in Brown, now near the bottom of the order in Cocker. It's huge to get on because the top of the lineup is so strong. We'll be able to score a lot of runs, as we've seen the 1, 2, 3, 4 hitter's been able to drive in quite a few.
Yeah, take as many pitches as you'd like. Find a way to wear the arm out and get on base. As you're getting close to the top of the order, you have to get runners on base. Defensively, Cocker's been one of the best players defensively for the Jackfish. He's only been great, and as advertised, he's been able to throw many players out, and now you see him take a walk and get aboard.
So he gets down to first base with 2 out, and here's going to come up now as the first baseman, Zarly Cena, playing in his second game of the year, and he was 2 for 4 on the game on Thursday. And once again, just another key guy if he can get going. And he bats now with 2 out. Maple Leafs leading it 1-0. Runner at first base is the catcher Cocker, who just walked. He takes his lead. And being held on by the first baseman. First pitch to Cena. Takes a strike right over the plate.
Well, as mentioned, like I said, a special day for Zarly Cena, being a Niagara Regional Police officer. He'll have some bragging rights to share with the guys from work, see what he can do today. A couple of police officers in the building, including some cars that kids can go look at in the parking lot. Very special day here at the pond. And I'm sure it's one of those days that he kind of looks forward to, being a police officer, moving his family down to the Niagara region, coming from Kitchener. This is the day you want to circle in the calendar and really do well against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
So he's sitting in an 0-1 count right now. And here comes the pitch. It's grounded out to third. Salazzo to a knee, picks it up, flip it across the diamond in time to retire Zarly Cena. So a 2-out walk doesn't get any further than first base. Still 1-0 Maple Leafs as we move to the third inning. Garrett Takamatsu steps up to the plate to start off the third inning. And he's still looking to drive in his first run of the season. He won that MVP a season ago, as we mentioned early on in the broadcast.
Yeah, absolutely right. Coming off one of his career years, winning the John Bell Trophy, selected by the Board of Governors in the IBL as the most valuable player. But boy, he's been dominant. And now, like you mentioned, still looking for that first RBI, trying to settle in here as he leads off here in the top of the third.
So he takes one down low, and now the count's 2-0. As the Maple Leafs lead it 1-0. And here comes a 2-0. It's inside. That's ball 3. After Takamatsu will be the third baseman, Salazzo. And then Aiden McCaskey, the first baseman, will bat third. 3-0 count to the second baseman, Takamatsu, and here comes the offering from Hummel, and it's belted in the air left field. Brown moving over now into the alley, reaches up and hauls it in for the first out. So Takamatsu swinging 3-0. He had the green light. Hit it fairly hard, but right into the glove of the left fielder, Brown.
Yeah, well struck ball, just unable to carry that distance and right into the alley, and Brown easily there, read it the whole way for out number 1.
So now it's John Salazzo walking up to the dish. And his first time up, as he takes one inside, in his first at-bat, he walked with the bases loaded to force in a run, and that's the only run we have so far in this contest. Both teams shut out in the second inning. And the 1-0 to Salazzo, rifled back up the middle. That's a base hit, gets into center field. And Salazzo's on first base for the second time today.
Well, that one whizzed right by the hand of Wyatt Hummel. Boy, that had some velocity coming off the bat. As that could have almost did some damage possibly if the, made the attempt to catch it, as he had to pull his hand back just in the nick of time. As boy, that had some speed coming off that bat.
So now here comes the third hitter in this inning, McCaskey. The first baseman today, with Salazzo now standing at first, and he fouls one straight back, and Hummel got the strikeout of McCaskey the first time he was at the plate, and if you remember that at bat, he used a lot of fastballs up in the zone, and you saw right there, he tried to start off the hitter again with that high fastball. You can see McCaskey made a little bit of an adjustment as he just fouled that one straight back. Likely looking for a fastball again here in this 0-1 count. The offering from Hummel, it drifts outside, and the count's even at 1.
Yeah, you try to use what works for you, of course, but you have to be able to find that balance of what is going to work for you and how much you can actually throw of it. Obviously, you can't throw fastball after fastball after fastball and wear your arm out, but you have to be able to kind of get those strikes and get the momentum back as he's struggling, trying to find that strike zone again.
So the count's now 2-1, and in the first inning, there was a reliever up in the bullpen, Underhill, but he has since sat down. So it looks like Hummel is the guy for the time being. And he got out of that bases-loaded jam and then pitched a pretty good second inning. And he's lost the control a little bit here. It's 3-1, and he seems to be falling off that mound a little bit to the first base side, and you talked about it a little bit earlier on. Maybe just trying to get comfortable on there. It was a little bit wet today when we showed up to the ballpark.
Well, 3 straight offerings well up and away out of the zone. And you mentioned it, yeah, he seems to be not comfortable, falling out, and there's a fourth in the exact similar spot, up and outside, as Cocker looks towards the dugout and just goes out and trying to settle him down, see if there will be any movement and any signals coming from the bullpen to see how long this will go on for.
And all the misses really have come to the arm side. With that fastball, he missed a lot early on with the breaking ball, but you haven't really seen him break it out at all after that first inning.
No. Fifth walk of the afternoon, and he hit one batter, so it's definitely not ideal. But Marco, as I take a look now, going back to catch in the bullpen, so I'd imagine this may be the last inning for Hummel.
And here's the catcher, Serkanik. He takes one outside, and it's 1-0. That pitch right there looked like it may have been on the outside corner, but did not get the call from home plate umpire. Chris Walters is now. Serkanik steps out. Runner out there at second base. Again, Toronto trying to extend that lead. Only could get one in the first inning after having the bases loaded and nobody out. The pitch is just inside, and the count's 2-0 as Brandon Underhill starts to throw once again in that Jackfish bullpen.
Well, Brian Esri just looking down to the bullpen once again as Underhill now fully trying to get his arm loose.
And it shouldn't take him too long to get loose as he was throwing earlier on in the game. This pitch is inside, and the count's now 3-0.
He's really struggling to find that strike zone, and it's all coming on that exact same spot, missing. So something clearly wrong as he's unable to get anything, kind of straightened out a little bit here as he keeps finding that same spot for the miss.
The next pitch on the inside corner. Serkinik started to first base. Then he was stopped by the home plate umpire Walters. And he's got to get back in the box. And that was almost the exact same pitch as the last one.
Again, it's tough to say. I mean, we're no umpires from up here. But, boy, that looked very similar to the location of the couple of pitches in this at-bat.
Now, that pitch does bounce in the dirt. It will be ball 4. So he does end up getting the walk just a pitch later than he expected. But he gets down to first base with 1 out. And the bases are loaded once again, and this is the second time that the Leafs have gotten the bases loaded. And it's the DH Damon Toppoli, and the last time he was up, he grounded out to the second baseman Dupuis. And if you're the Jackfish and Hummel, you'd love a ground ball right here. We know Toppoli doesn't run too well, so he's a double play candidate for sure.
Yeah, a double play right to the glove of Tyler Dupuis would be pretty perfect right about now, as the Jackfish need a way to be able to help out Wyatt Hummel here and get out of this half inning, as it's been 6 walks now on the afternoon, as Underhill in the bullpen throwing full pitches now. So there's got to be some sort of answer here by the Jackfish as Toppoli steps in with the bases loaded second time this afternoon.
And you'd likely think with Underhill warming up, now cranking it up in the bullpen, this could possibly be the last batter either way. He got Toppoli to ground out to second his first time, and now he misses up high. And the count's 1-0, and it's always a tough spot to bring in a reliever with the bases loaded, especially with less than 2 out. So trying to allow their starter to get out of it.
No doubt about that. No doubt about that. And look, we mentioned it's the first start for Wyatt Hummel this season as he came out of the pen
and
against London.
And he gets Toppoli to foul it straight back. And the count's now even at 1-1. Standing at third base right now is John Salazzo. Aidan McCaskey is at second base. And Brady Serkinik, the catcher who just walked, stands at first. In a 1-1 count, Maple Leafs lead it by 1. And they're looking for more. Here comes the 1-1 offering. It's popped up on the infield. Coming in as the second baseman Dupuis. Infield fly rule in effect. And there's 2 out. Another huge out for Wyatt Hummel. And he's been pitching around danger all game long. But so far, so good.
Well, you said it perfectly. It's almost as if he's walking on the edge of a cliff right now, as that pop-up with the infield fly rule works perfectly, similar to a double play. Would have ended the inning, but keeps the base runners where they are. Now, any base, get out of this, and somehow keep all the bases stranded possibly and keep it a 1-0 game.
So it's Nico Cannonicio, the right fielder, getting a chance to hit with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Maple Leafs leading it 1-0. Underhill now ready in the bullpen. The pitch from Hummel. Inside corner, strike 1. So he jumps ahead, and that's massive here with the bases loaded.
Yeah, if we had a pitch tracker, like in the MLB, it'd be interesting to see how many pitches are painting that exact corner and how many are missing or just outside, as the majority of his pitches are right on that line.
And he throws one inside, and it catches the hitter Cannonicio. So that'll force in a run, and manager Brian Esri out of the dugout, and that will be all for the starter, Wyatt Hummel.
Well, quick afternoon. Unfortunately, not the way Wyatt Hummel would draw up this day, but I think there's no other option for Brian Esri here at this point. He's going to stay in, I believe.
So he's having a conversation right now. Underhill is ready in the bullpen. Has not made the call yet. There's 2 outs.
Fans, today's 50-50.
Well, I think the umpire is coming up now just to kind of speed this up a little bit here. Is it a mound visit, or are you making a pitching change? And just simply a mound visit. Wow.
So no pitching change right now, as Hummel's going to stay in the game and try to work out of this one. So 2-0 Maple Leafs lead it now as that run was forced in by the hit by pitch. And it's the number 9 hitter, Noah Chan.
Shortstop number 3, Noah Chan.
Noah Chan walked in his first time up, and a walk would not be welcome right now for the Fish. As the leadoff hitter Tamain waits on deck, swing and a miss from Chan. Hummel gets ahead, but we've seen him get ahead quite a bit in this outing. Just it's more finishing off the hitters that he struggled with.
Absolutely. The first two batters of the game told that story very well. Had a 1-2 count, and both times ended up in walks with 3 straight balls. But that's the first time we've seen the first pitch of the at-bat right down the middle and not way off the strike zone to either side. He's really struggling to find the middle of the plate here this afternoon.
So he works once again with the bases loaded and 2 out. Pitching from the stretch got his sign from Cocker. And here comes the 1-1. Inside corner strike. And it's 1-2. Hummel, the Edmonton, Alberta native, played in the West Coast League before coming to the Jackfish. And here comes a 1-2, up and inside. It's 2-2 now.
Well, it's got to be frustrating for him mentally right now, trying to get out of it. Had a good conversation with the skip, Brian Ezery. A couple words exchanged, wanting to stay in it. This is the time to prove yourself right here.
2-2 count. Runner bouncing off of third base. Trying to get into the head of Hummel, but now comes the 2-2, and it's fouled back. Count remains even, and it looked like the runner over there at third base. And McKenzie was coming home.
The way he was bouncing, he's almost bouncing like very far off the bag, almost quite a bit ways down the third base line. Yeah, you're right. Trying to steal home or get in his head, but boy, he was definitely in his sight.
And pitching out of the stretch as a righty, you're looking right over there at third base. That it does have to be a little bit distracting. The 2-2 is up high, and the count's full 3-2. So now an action pitch here. All runners will be moving. 3-2 and 2 out. So a ball in the gap could possibly score 3 runs, and that would bust the game open. But Hummel trying to work out of a bases-loaded jam once again. As he looks in for the sign, he's got it. Runners take their leads. And there they go, the 3-2 pitch. Missed up high, he walked another one. And it's 3-0 Maple Leafs.
And that will be it right there, no doubt about that. As Brian Ezery now makes his second appearance to the mound this inning. But what a start he'd like to forget quickly for Wyatt Hummel here at home against the Maple Leafs.
So 3-0 as Hummel exits Brandon Underhill into the game. New pitcher into the game, Brandon Underhill for the Jackfish. Playing in his second game so far this season, but his first time on the mound this year. His first time he played, he started at second base. Now pitching in a tough spot, 2 outs, bases loaded. And the first pitch to the leadoff hitter, Tamain, is a strike. And the count's now 0-1, and the thought process behind this move, likely Underhill throwing that ball over the plate consistently. Going to fill up the strike zone, maybe allow some soft contact. And he's ahead 0-1 to the leadoff hitter, Tamain. Next pitch, breaking ball, it bounces in, and it's 1-1.
Well, first mission, of course, throw the strike and then get out of this half inning, as the Maple Leafs already up 3-0 with another 2 here in the top of the third. Tough spot to come in, but you have to find a way to get out of this jam.
The 1-1 pitch, inside corner, that's a strike. And it's 1-2, and we know this Jackfish offense can strike in a hurry. We saw that in that 9th inning comeback against the Majors a week ago. So if you keep this score around that 3-0 range, you know they're definitely still in this, especially only playing in the 3rd inning as he gets a strike call to get Tamain looking. Underhill comes out of the bullpen and strands the bases loaded and keeps it 3-0 Maple Leafs as the Jackfish come to bat in the bottom of the 3rd. Bottom of the 3rd we go. Mike Wagner, the shortstop and number 9 hitter, leads things off for the Jackfish. After him will be the leadoff man, Morello. And then Tyler Dupuis due up 3rd in the inning. Left-handed hitter, Wagner. 3 for 6 on the season, off to a good start at the plate. And he takes one over the middle for strike 1, and he's behind 0-1.
Well, the Jackfish will need a little bounce back here after a disastrous second inning, giving up 2 runs.
As the ball's tapped foul down the first base line.
But interesting to note, Wyatt Hummel out of the ball game, gets replaced quickly by Underhill, but comes out of the bullpen, comes out of the dugout rather, to congratulate him, getting out of that jam, leaving those 3 base runners stranded. Big class move.
The ball's hit up the middle now, throw high, but just able to keep his foot on first base. And there's one gone. It's Aiden McCaskey with a good play over there at first to come down on the base and not allow a base runner to start this 3rd inning.
Jackfish have to find a way to get this crowd back into this game. Boy, you notice a difference when this place gets loud and behind the team. You know, the atmosphere changes so much. You remember the game against London, they come all the way back, 6 runs scored. That's, you know, something you don't see every day. But even against Brantford, you get a little bit of momentum, a little bit of bats going. And all of a sudden, everyone's energy and attitude picks way up. Need every sort of bit of help you can get right now. Down 3-0 with nothing going.
And always great fans here in Welland. I mean, they didn't leave. Nobody left in that London game.
That's
when
true.
it looked like it was out of reach. And the next pitch is outside. It's 1-1. And that's not something you see everywhere. A lot of the time when games look out of reach, you'll see the fans leaving 7th inning, 8th inning. But no, they stuck around right to the end, and I mean, they were treated to a great win. 1-1 pitch is down low, bounces by the catcher. And it's 2-1, and now it looks like Morello may have got some dirt in his eye. As you saw that ball clip the dirt in front of home plate.
Well, it bounced, right on the front edge of the plate and took a huge hop over everyone into the safety screen behind home plate. But he's looking at his left eye, and the catcher and the home plate umpire trying to help him out a little bit. You don't want to see anyone go down with an injury, and this could be something so subtle and so accidental, a fluke play that could take him out of the ballgame.
So he's walking towards the dugout right now. As they're going to get some eye drops out and try to get that dirt out. And Morello been such a key piece to this Jackfish lineup.
Well, the eyes are something you definitely don't want to mess around with.
right.
That is for sure. I mean, I remember my brother playing, junior A lacrosse, and there was a situation just in warm-ups, a little piece of dust out of nowhere, felt it in his eye, took him out of a playoff game, and it's as simple as it could be, a little piece of dirt, a little piece of dust, and this one clearly bothering him, but it looks like he's okay. Very scary situation.
And as a hitter, too, your eyes are the most important thing, of course. But he looks to be good as he got some eye drops in there. Now he's ready to go. And he's in a 2-1 count, sitting ahead in the count. And we saw in the last game he ran into the center field wall, possibly hurting himself, then came up and hit a home run. So we'll see what he does now as he fouls one away. And before the game, there was an outline on the wall where he ran into.
Oh, I wish we had a shot of it. Little camaraderie between the boys, but wow, it is hilarious. Kind of razzing him a little bit with the Italian flag out there as well, but you're right. Came right, bounced back from that injury. He was down for a little bit, got right back up. Next inning, huge shot over the wall for his first homer in a Jackfish uniform.
And he hit that ball so high in the air. He was saying before the game he didn't think that he got all of it. He thought he got it all, but hit it straight up. But he just kept carrying and got out over that right field fence, and now he takes inside for ball 4. So a runner on base for Tyler Dupuis, who's been the Jackfish best hitter with runners on base to start this season.
He sure has, and he's been that missing piece of the lineup that the Jackfish were definitely glad to pick up this offseason, as he's been a huge bat, batting in the second spot of the order. As you mentioned, he's found that home now and really done well for Skip Brian Esri.
And over there at first base, Morello with 4 stolen bases so far. Again, we know the Jackfish like to run. We'll see if he tries that. Not going on the first pitch, and it's cracked in the air center field. Backing up is the center fielder, still going to the track, to the wall, and it's off the wall. Morello's around second. He will stop right there at third now as the ball comes back in quickly. And a missile off the center field wall for Dupuis, and 2 runners in scoring position for Brandon Nicholson.
Well, in Toronto, that's a 3-2 ball game. No doubt about that. That's way gone in Toronto, as that's a huge hit here all the way to the track. Could have been a ground rule double almost, but it lands just short, bounces off almost the top of the W out in center, right in front of that 400 sign. Huge hit. Welcome back to the pond here as the crowd back into it here with that huge double. 2 runners in scoring position now for Brandon Nicholson.
And off the bat, I thought that ball might get out to center field, but we know this is a very big ballpark, and that's a long way out there to center field. And it's fouled away by Nicholson, and we talked about it. He's got pretty good power.
Oh, no doubt. Just behind a little bit on that pitch, but boy, when he can connect to get the barrel round on that bat, Nicholson and Dupuis both can send him out to center field. As we see the fans now, there's a couple fans sitting out there with the lawn chairs and the coolers way out in center field. Move closer to center.
Nicholson once again fouls it away straight over our heads, and he's behind 0-2. He struck out in his first at-bat. 4 RBIs on the season, looking to add a couple more. Again, he had that home run on Thursday. Got the Jackfish offense going, trying to get their offense going once again. As there's one out, Maple Leafs lead it 3-0. The 0-2 up high, and the count's now 1-2.
Yeah, Jackfish with runners in scoring position this year have actually been pretty good, getting runs across the plate. Here's a good opportunity now, down 3 early in the ball game. 1 out, 2 runners on, second and third. This is a timely hit situation where you could easily bring this team back within 1 run with 1 swing of the bat.
1-2 to Nicholson, breaking ball missing inside. And the count is 2-2 with a runner at third base. You see the starter Con going back to pitching to that full windup. A lot of the times pitchers will do that, just whatever they're more comfortable with. Not worrying about a stolen base. As Morello takes his lead off of third. Dupuis off of second. The 2-2 to Nicholson. Bounced on the ground. Foul. May have fouled it off his foot. He came up limping a little bit out of the batter's box.
I was going to say, it took an awkward hop. It went down very quickly. I don't know if it hit his foot or right in front of that batter's box, and he just didn't like the swing. But you're right, he hopped out of the batter's box as if either he got hit or he just didn't like that swing at all.
Well, it was a late foul call from the home plate umpire, Chris Walters, and
which I'm shocked, because I don't even know if it actually went in fair play at all. Is it? Definitely never made it to the grass as it went down the third base line.
So the count remains 2-2 now with 1 away, 2 runners standing in scoring position. Morello just 90 feet away at third. 2-2 pitch bounces in the dirt. It's a ball. And a huge stop behind the plate by Serkanik to keep the runner at third base. And we've talked about it a little bit. The catchers have been really strong so far early on, blocking balls in the dirt.
Well, it's one of those positions you kind of forget about, but it's definitely the most underrated position of the ball club. You need a good catcher.
Right back up the middle, snared on a line. Won't have another play, but that ball was scorched back up the box. Con just stuck his glove out and it nestled right in there for the out. But good base running by the 2 runners on base, not getting too far off the bag. To now give a chance for Ethan Hunt, looking for his first hit of the year once again, and this would be a massive spot.
While Salazzo, if he was a few more feet to his left, that easily could have been a double play. But luckily for the Jackfish, you're right, not a huge lead off third, as that was a bullet right back to Con.
Going halfway down the line is Morello. Hunt shatters his bat as it's grounded to Takamatsu. Underhand flip it to first to retire the side. 2 runners getting to scoring position. Neither can be pushed across. The Maple Leafs lead it 3-0 as we go to the top of the 4th here at Welland Stadium. Fourth inning we go. Brendan Lang here with you, along with Spencer Tangway, as the Maple Leafs lead it 3-0. And the center fielder, Greg Harrington, walks up to the dish to lead off the fourth. Brandon Underhill back on the mound after he came in relief in the last inning and got a big strikeout to the leadoff hitter, Tamain. And he misses outside with the first pitch of the fourth. It's 1-0. Takamatsu standing on deck. Salazzo to follow him. And the 1-0 pitch inbound, hit in the air, right field. It'll get well foul. One hop off that wall out there. Hit it a long way. Just out in front, though. And the count's even at 1.
Yeah, Underhill's time now to just settle in, regroup. You know, what has happened is behind you, and he's able to get out of that jam for Hummel. But now 1-1, and it's his game. See what he can do here against the Maple Leafs in his first outing on the mound.
I mentioned, you're right, he played one game before, started at second base. He said he's a utility guy, can play all over the diamond. As this pitch is up high, it's 3-1, and usually when an infielder says they can play all over the diamond, they mean the other
Yeah.
infield spots, the outfield spots, not the pitcher's mound, but he's able to do everything. He had one appearance pitching for the team last year. This pitch is down low. He walked him to lead off the inning. There's will be a base runner at first base in Carrington.
Second baseman, number 33, Garrett Takamatsu.
Well, second time today, the Jackfish lead off the inning with a walk, and obviously the other time coming in that first inning where they gave up 4 straight. But you have to be able to find a way to settle in here, as this has been the only blemish so far for the pitching staff for the Jackfish through the first 4 games. As we talked about, the first 3 games, pitching has not been any sort of issue or even come into question. But now they find themselves in the spotlight here, down 3-0.
First pitch to Takamatsu drifts inside. It's a ball. Takamatsu's first time up was hit by a pitch, which loaded the bases. And then he flew out into left field his last time up. He hit that ball hard, but Hogan Brown was playing him in the right spot. No outs, 1-0 count, popped up into center field. Morello now moving in, still coming in, called off by the right fielder Nicholson. He makes the catch, and there's one away. On that ball, it looked like all the infielders kind of lost it. I lost it for a second in this sky.
Well, Nicholson ran quite a ways to make that grab, as he was pretty much at full speed the whole way. Was waving off Morello, the center fielder, and Dupuis at second. So he must have had a keen eye on that ball, as he was tracking it all the way from the moment he started to take a sprint. But you're right. Tough day, really, with not too many clouds, but there was a few where you could easily lose that white baseball.
So now as John Salazzo, the third baseman, takes one right over the middle. It's strike 1. Standing over there at first is the center fielder Carrington, taking his lead. Does have 1 stolen base on the season, but Toronto not a team that's known for their stolen base prowess. Salazzo rips it up the middle. That's a base hit into center field. Moving up to second base is Carrington. He'll stop right there. And there's 2 on now with 1 away. And here comes the first baseman, McCaskey.
Well, Salazzo, who was 1 for 1 in the ball game, now 2 for 2. Just an excellent hit up the middle into center.
That's
just
his
a
second.
perfect base. Just a perfect base hit. Excuse me.
That's his second hit right up the middle into center field, making a point of emphasis to use the big part of the diamond. And there's 2 runners on now for the left-handed hitter McCaskey.
Must be nice if you could just do that every time they step up to the plate. No need to hit a home run. Just poke one out into center every time.
First pitch from Underhill, down and inside. It's 1-0 now. Brady Serkonik, the catcher, is on deck. McCaskey looking to drive in a couple runs with a few runners out there right now. The 1-0 pitch in the air, center field. Morello going over, moving into the alley, still running. He's on the track. It bangs off the wall. 1 run's going to come in to score. Another one being waved around third. The relay throw, and it's bobbled out there in the outfield. So a 2-run double for Aiden McCaskey, and it's 5-0 Toronto.
That's a long way, all the way to the wall again, and a well-struck ball by the Maple Leafs, and just like that, 5-0. As, boy, they're having their way with the Jackfish here early in this ball game. As they get out to that 5-0 lead. off a huge hit all the way to the right field wall.
So now it's Brady Circanic, the catcher, scoring those 2 runs on the play. Carrington came in from second base, and scoring all the way from first was John Salazzo. And the runners needed to hold up for just a moment, thinking it may be caught in center field, but once you saw Morello's back turn on the dead run into center field, you knew he wasn't going to be able to make the play. So both good base running to get good breaks and score 2 runs. Now Maple Leafs lead at 5-0. Underhill's next pitch cracked in the air, center field. Morello on the run. This ball's hammered out there, still back to the track, to the wall, and it's gone. A home run off the bat of the catcher, Brady Circanic, and it's 7-0 Maple Leafs.
Just an absolute blast. They are having their way, like I said, with the Jackfish, and Underhill now sent that one all the way out of this ballpark. A huge home run for the Maple Leafs to really extend this lead. A 5-run lead now becomes 7, and it makes it a 7-0 lead here only in the top of the 4th.
So a few really hard hit balls in this inning. Salazzo with the single up the middle, then that double, off the wall by McCaskey, and then the home run to center field. A lot of the ball staying in the middle of the diamond. And the DH Damon Toppoli now climbs into the box and takes one up high. He gets ahead 1-0. Toppoli has popped out to second and grounded out to second, make him 0 for 2 on the day. As the Jackfish bullpen springs into action once again, the 1-0 to Toppoli, outside corner strike, and it's 1-1. Looks like Casey Howard getting loose.
Yeah, Jackfish going through quite a few pitchers here as Howard now warming up in the bullpen here in the top of the 4th. Not much options you have in a 7-0 ball game with Damon Toppoli, who can really do damage at times, finding himself in an 0-2 situation, though, as he's not normally 0 for 2, a good hitter for the Maple Leafs, and he's been around this league a long time as well.
Playing in his first game here this season, he had 3 home runs. Last year, like you alluded to, does have some pop. This one's popped up behind home plate. It will get out of play. And it's 1-2. With 1 away, nobody on base, Maple Leafs lead at 7-0. Toppoli at the dish with Canonisho standing on deck. Pitching out of the full windup is Underhill, and the pitch grounded out to third base. Ethan Hunt charges, throws it on the run. It's in time to retire Toppoli. And there's 2 gone.
Well, get back to that simple baseball. Be able to find a way to get those ground ball outs, get some contact from the batters that don't carry all the way to the wall. Ground balls, get some strikeouts, find a way to settle in here as you have to get back to baseball down by 7 with another righty warming up in the bullpen.
So the first pitch misses for ball 1. And it's now 1-0 with 2 outs. In this 4th inning, check swing, but he went around. May have caught the inside corner as well. And the count's now 1-1. On the right fielder, Canonisho. The 1-1 offering from Underhill, swing and a miss. Got him to swing through a fastball, and it's 1-2. Sitting in a 1-2 count. And here comes the offering from Underhill. It's up high. And the count's now 1-2. Or 2-2, excuse me.
Find a way here, get that ball over the plate, get a strikeout here, get out of the half inning, and get the bats alive here, hopefully, in the bottom of the 4th.
2-2 pitch. Popped up. Cena moving into foul territory. He pulls up, reaches out, battling the sun, and makes the catch. And the inning is over, but 4 runs cross the plate for the Maple Leafs. And they lead at 7-0. Jackfish coming up in the bottom of the 4th.
Leading off the
Home
inning
half of the
for
fourth
Welland,
inning.
left fielder, number
Hogan Brown, the
24,
left fielder, coming up. Matt Hildebrandt to follow him. And Sam Cocker, the catcher, also due up in this inning. Hogan Brown flew out to left field in his first at-bat. First pitch inbound of the fourth inning, cracked in the air center field. Carrington gliding over into the gap, reaches out, makes the catch. And first pitch, first out of the inning.
Well, good swing. Unfortunately, just carries too far, and the center fielder for the Maple Leafs there to make the catch. And just like that, the Jackfish one out already in an inning that could be a pivotal inning in this ball game, as the Maple Leafs put up 4 in that top half of the inning. Jackfish have to find an answer here to claw themselves back in the ball game. And it'll start right here with the big man, Matt Hildebrandt.
So the DH Hildebrandt takes inside. And it's 1-0. Hildebrandt lined out to center field his last time up. The ball was hit extremely hard out there, and the center fielder Carrington barely had to move to make the play. And he hits it into center field once again. The left fielder actually now coming over and makes the catch. In Grant Domain. And quickly, 2 outs on 3 pitches.
Well, if you're the Maple Leafs, this is exactly what you want to do. Don't waste too many pitches from your pitcher to allow him to go more. Get a couple balls to fly out. And now the Jackfish find themselves 2 outs already here in the bottom of the fourth, excuse me.
First pitch to Cocker on the outside corner. That's a strike. And it's 0-1. Zarlicina waiting on deck. Will get a chance if Cocker can find a way on. Reach base on a walk his last time up, and he takes down low. It's ball 1. Counts even now at 1-1. Cocker off to a good start so far this season, coming into the game batting .300. And the pitch from Kahn, just missing outside. And Cocker's ahead in the count now, 2-1, and this is a big spot for the Jackfish to get a couple runs back as we play here in the middle innings, bottom of the fourth right now. Cocker skies a ball down the third baseline. Salazzo now crossing into foul territory, makes the catch, and it's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Kahn. And the Jackfish don't score. 7-0 Maple Leafs as we go to the fifth.
You know what time it is. Shortstop number
Top of the
3,
fifth inning
Noah
now, and the
Chan.
shortstop Noah Chan steps up as we take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Just one other game going on right now. The Guelph Royals leading the Brantford Red Sox 7-3. That game being played in Guelph as they play in the bottom of the sixth inning. And here it's 7-0 Toronto. And Toronto scoring those 7 runs, only 4 hits on the board. Only 2 more hits than the Jackfish, but lead it by 7 in the run column.
Well, it's like I said, it's the first time where we've really had to talk about and highlight the pitching staff for the Jackfish today. A really off day, which is what we saw in the first inning. And then the Jackfish, of course, they give up 2 in the third and 4 in the fourth inning. And that's how you get 7 runs. As Wyatt Hummel, a day he'd like to forget, had 7 walks and hit 2 batters and walked in the first run to lead things off.
2-1 pitch was way inside to Chan. He had to duck out of the way of it. And it's 3-1 now. Chan has walked twice in this game. His last time walked a run home. And he sits in a 3-1 count now. Missed outside. 3rd walk of the day for Chan. And he gets on. And that's just something that you really don't want to do, is walk that number 9 hitter, especially to lead off an inning. Now you have a runner on base.
Left fielder number 10, Brent
With the top of the
Tremaine.
order coming up, and down at that bottom of the order, hitting in that 8-9 spot, you want to make them earn their way on base.
Well, you bring up Grant Tamain, the Scarborough native, who is hitting .357 this year, already has a couple RBIs, entered the ball game with 5 hits already.
And a great play by Zarly Cena, laying out and picking it right off the turf.
Center fielder,
1 out.
Number 15,
Zarly Cena, a guy that's really stepped up and impressed us so far since moving over to that first base and joining the Jackfish for his first couple of games. And like you said, you talked to him about why playing first base and hasn't been there in a while, but boy, is he really settled into that position, trying to own that bag for the Jackfish.
Yeah, he just said manager Essery came up to him and said, hey, do you play first base? And he said, well, I do now. Hasn't played there in 5 years. Back in his freshman year of college was the last time he played over there at first base. The pitch inbound. Runner on the move. Cocker's throwdown bounces in there. Tag applied by Wagner, and they got him. What a defensive sequence for the Jackfish to throw out a would-be base stealer.
Well, Sam Cocker, again, an impressive, throw to second base. That one off the side of the base he didn't want, but Tyler Dupuis able to turn around, make that play in time. But again, the catcher, something the Jackfish really wanted to improve on this season, and they've done just that. Cena takes away a beautiful grab, and now an out, no base runners. 2 outs already here now.
And now an 0-2 count on Carrington. And those are 2 massive outs. You just talked about it. Still trying to keep that score just where it is. Let this Jackfish offense strike as we play in the 5th inning. In a 7-0 Toronto lead. And Underhill's ahead in the count. It's 1-2. And here comes the pitch. That one's high and outside. Lost it to the arm side, and the count's even now at 2-2 with Takamatsu waiting on deck.
So this is where the pitching staff has to be able to, rely. Underhill has to come in here, get the out, earn it for the defense, who have just stole 2 outs away from the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Ball's rocketed up the middle. Dive by Wagner. Can't get a glove on it. Single into center field for Carrington. His first hit of the game, but he's on base for the 3rd time. And that will bring up Takamatsu.
And just like that, instead of bringing up Takamatsu, you have a base runner aboard. Underhill's got to be able to get that out somehow. 2 defensive huge plays, gets 2 outs. And now, just like that, they face a base runner with the reigning MVP Takamatsu at the dish.
And Takamatsu still off to a pretty good start, but probably not the start he's been looking for on this season. Has not driven in a run yet, and he gets hit once again. That's the 2nd time today he's been hit. And now there'll be 2 runners on, and on that hit by pitch, it moves Carrington, the runner from first, into scoring position, with John Salazzo now a chance to hit with a runner at second.
Well, this is what happens. Things get, a little spiraling out of control now, as this has been the storyline for the Jackfish all afternoon. You know, one thing goes bad, another thing goes bad. It's like you're losing all 4 tires of the car here. Try to find a way, get out of this jam now, and keep the score at 7.
So it's the left-handed hitting third baseman John Salazzo against Brandon Underhill. He takes outside corner for a strike. And it's 0-1, and that's got to be frustrating on the defensive side. You get that great defensive play from Cena, then you throw out the base runner thinking might be able to get out of this quickly, then the single and a hit by pitch. And the inning extends. Salazzo takes for a ball. It's 1-1.
Yeah, now they're back on their toes again. Have to, find a way to bail them out again. But here, 2-out situation. Another strikeout, ground ball will do it.
Salazzo playing in his 5th season with the Toronto Maple Leafs. 1-1 pitch to him, slashed away foul, third base side. And it's 1-2. From Mississauga, actually played his first IBL season with the Mississauga Twins when there was a team down there. Did a little bit of pitching coming out of high school as well, but now in the IBL is settled in to an infield role as he pops it foul over our heads. And the count remains at 1-2.
Well, good job on the Toronto Maple Leafs today, being able to extend this and finding a way to get base runners aboard and make the Jackfish pitchers earn all the outs. The Jackfish unable to step up to the task so far, as we've seen. The defense being able to get a couple of outs, pitching being the problem so far here with that 7-0 lead.
Underhill checks the runner at second, looks back again, now delivers the 1-2. Once again, it's fouled away, and it's not something that we've talked about too much, but this Toronto team, yes, they've drawn a lot of walks and scored a lot of runs, but it's because they've been working the count quite a bit, fouling off tough pitches and taking close ones as well.
Yeah, that's what happens. Like you said, they only have 5 hits, but they have 7 runs. You don't see it very often. But that's what paints the picture right here, the pitching.
1-2 pitch in the air, center field. Morello now coming in, and he reaches up to make the catch. Looked like he broke back on that ball to start, but then came in on the run and caught it. So the Maple Leafs don't score. They do get 2 runners on, but still lead at 7-0 as we go to the bottom of the 5th here in Welland.
Take it away.
Zarley Cena to lead off the 5th in the home side of the inning for the Jackfish. 8-9-1 due up that Cena Wagner, and then back to the top of the order in Gio Morello. Cena in his first time up grounded out to third base.
Well, the only good thing is the Jackfish playing Toronto tomorrow, so they'll get a chance to rewrite history a little bit here and get a better start at Christie Pitts tomorrow. This game's still far from over. But when you're down 7-0 and you're going to play a team that you just played the following day, you have to be able to forget this quickly and just go in. New game tomorrow and get this out of your head.
Cena fouled it straight back, right coming our way. Had to duck out of the way, but it did go over our heads. Didn't want another situation like we had last year.
Hey, they say to keep your eye on the ball, and I know there is a roof protecting us here in the press box, but you got to track that ball no matter where it goes.
Cena takes outside. It's 2-1. That one last year, it bounced off the front of the press box, came in hot.
Oh, it ever came in hot.
2-1 count to the Jackfish first baseman, Cena, and he hits it in the air. That ball in the gap. On the run as the center fielder still moving. Carrington reaches up and makes the catch. One gone, and off the bat of Cena, I thought that ball was getting down in the alley for sure. But a ton of speed shown in center field to track that down.
Yeah, Carrington there, and that is the fourth fly ball now for the Jackfish consecutively. But you're right, Carrington made quite a bit of distance up in a little bit of time to get that ball.
And now Wagner hits it to first base, but it is foul. And off the bat, too, he didn't hit it very high. So it didn't seem like Carrington had a ton of time to get over there and get underneath the ball. It was on a pretty good line out there to center field, but just a ton of speed shown.
And really very little wind right now, so the wind not knocking it down. The wind really died down here at the moment.
0-1 to Wagner. It's inside a ball. It's 1-1 now, and on the field, the chatter around the cage was that the wind was blowing in before this game started, but you're right. Almost a completely still day right now. And the sun just peeking through the clouds a little bit as Wagner takes down. It's 2-1. It was a little bit chilly when we showed up to the ballpark early on, but it's really turned out to be a great day for baseball.
Well, they had 20 degrees as the expected temperature today, and I was almost thinking of going to the car and putting on a coat. No way, it was 20 when we got here.
Wagner shoots a ball up the middle. That's a base hit. The number 9 hitter gets on. Now runner at first base. We go back to the top of the order for Gio Morello.
Well, that's a good timely hit right there. Go back to the top of the order. End that, fly ball streak, because that was 4 consecutive fly balls. But finally now, a base runner aboard. A little bit of life here as the top of the order comes to bat and gets something going here. Put a couple of runs on the board in this inning and get the Jackfish right back into this game with a couple swings.
And Wagner now 4 for 8 on the season, and he's been a good pickup for this team, not only on the offensive side, but really on the defensive side. He's a great glove man at shortstop, and whatever offense he can provide, especially batting down maybe in that 8-9 spot, is a plus to get on base for that top of the lineup to come up. And he did that effectively right there as it's Morello at the plate and Tyler Dupuis, the second baseman, waiting on deck. Wagner takes the lead from first. It's low, and the count's now 2-0.
Not too often the Jackfish have been ahead of the count and ahead of Con today. 2-0. Not too many times you've seen that, as he seemed to be slipping a little bit here as he's gone the complete game so far. But he's been really good so far for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Came into the ball game ERA of 1.85, and that's been the story for him. He's had a terrific season so far.
Actually a junior player on this Toronto team, coming up making his second start of the season, and you wouldn't know by the looks of it. I mean, he's been super solid today, throwing a lot of strikes, getting ahead of the Jackfish hitters like you just mentioned. But right now, he's way behind in the count, 3-0. The offering to Morello over the outside corner, it's a strike. And the count is 3-1. And on 3-0, sometimes you give the green light. Probably not in that situation. You need base runners down 7-0. And even if he did have the green light, that's a tough pitch to hit, painted on the outside corner. So now in a 3-1 count, it's way outside. It's ball 4. And that's 2 runners on now for Tyler Dupuis.
Well, you're right. Good take on that last pitch to make it a 3-1 count, but no need to swing. Allow the pitcher to find his way back into the strike zone. Unable to do so. And now with Tyler Dupuis at the plate, good chance for him to shine again as he's had a really terrific start at the plate. So we'll see if he can get his bat on the ball again and really spark some life into this Jackfish team.
7-0 our score. Maple Leafs lead it. Jackfish threatening. Here in the 5th, Dupuis takes low, and it's 1-0, and this is really the first time Con's been fighting his delivery a little bit. Still nobody loosening up down there in that Toronto bullpen, but he's been consistent throwing strikes all game, and this is really the first inning that he's kind of lost the strike zone.
Well, the catcher for the Toronto Maple Leafs just having a quick word with home plate umpire Chris Long on that last pitch, trying to figure out if it was low, what he's actually looking for. Is that looked pretty good, called it a low pitch, though.
And it's 2-0 now, taking inside. And this is super important for these Jackfish hitters with runners out there on base, getting ahead in the count. See if you can buy a fastball down the middle of the plate. And Dupuis's been able to do damage so far this season, looking to do some more with one runner standing in scoring position in Wagner and Morello standing at first. Dupuis bounces a ball to the shortstop, flip to second for one. Takamatsu back to first, it's not in time. Dupuis with the speed beats out the fielder's choice. So that's the second out of the inning. But now runners at the corners and Brandon Nicholson, the right fielder, coming up.
Right fielder, number
Well, you have to be able to get one here, you think, with two runners on, one runner just 90 feet away. You got to be able to get some confidence here with the offense. Either get another walk here, put a ball in the outfield, get a runner home, and make this at least a 7-1 game and start the comeback a little bit.
And that's huge for Dupuis to be able to beat out that ground ball. Talked about the speed from him and speed displayed on all of this roster, but a double play in that situation would have been very costly. Still running hard in this 7-0 game. Now brings up a power bat. That number 3 hitter in Nicholson had a home run on Thursday night. Dupuis moving. Ball bounces in the dirt. He's going to get in there standing up, so a stolen base for Tyler Dupuis. His 3rd stolen base of the game. 8th stolen base on the season and only the 4th game of the year.
Yeah, definitely a guy that could easily steal a bag, and that's just a timely stolen base. Puts 2 runners now in scoring position. Ahead in the count, 2-0.
He takes it outside, and that's been a call that Chris Walters has not been giving the pitchers. And it puts Nicholson way up in the count, trying to drive in a couple. The 2-0. Bounced on the ground to the second baseman, Takamatsu. He fields it cleanly over to first in time to retire the side. Jackfish can't come through with a big hit with runners in scoring position, leave 2 on base, and trail it 7-0 as we go to the 6th inning here at the Pond.
Yale's greatest round.
Ada McCaskey in the box and set to go in the 6th inning. Maple Leafs lead at 7-0. Jackfish threatened in that bottom of the 5th inning but couldn't score. And Underhill back on the mound here in his 3rd frame of work. Trying to keep this score right where it is. Hits just slightly favoring the Maple Leafs right now. 5-3 in that category as he misses outside. Defense has been good on both sides so far. Just a lot of walks have come back to bite the fish. This next pitch fouled straight back. McCaskey, his last time up, drilled a ball off the center field wall, scoring 2 runs. Serkonik waiting on deck. He also hit a double into center field. So some power being displayed by those 5-6 hitters in this order. And he tops the ball on the ground to second base. Dupuis to Tuini to pick it up. Flips it over to first. It's in time. And there's 1 away.
Well, good start for the Jackfish. You mentioned it. He topped that ball, able to get the ground ball and get a ground ball out. Said a little bit here as they've been really able to hit the Jackfish well. The 5 hits they have, a lot of them all carrying to the wall. A couple of extra base hits today off of them. And a couple of them we thought were going to carry all the way out. Luckily, only one did, as they do have that 1 home run.
Brady Serkonik doubled his last time up and takes the first pitch outside. It's 1-0. Serkonik hit that double. He also walked. Plus, he flew out to center field in that first inning. And now he hits a hard ground ball to the shortstop, Wagner. He comes up with it. Throw in time. And there's 2 away on 2 ground balls to start this 6th inning.
Well, the Jackfish giving a little taste of their own medicine to the Toronto Maple Leafs, as that's exactly what the Maple Leaf defense was able to do. Get the Jackfish a couple of quick outs, a couple of ground balls, or a couple of flyouts. This is exactly what the Jackfish needed, like you said. Keep the score exactly where it is. Keep it quick and get back out there and try to find an answer. Can't leave runners in scoring position all game long.
So it's the designated hitter, Damon Toppoli, to the dish, and he takes right there for a strike. It's 0-1, and when he came into the game, I talked about this, but Underhill, really a guy who's not going to get a ton of swing and miss on his pitch, is trying to induce some soft contact. He's done a great job of that, and he runs a fastball inside and hits Toppoli. That's the 3rd hit batsman so far in this game for Jackfish pitching. Takamatsu's been hit twice. And now Toppoli getting on first base, and once again, it's those 2 quick outs to start the inning. And then with 2 outs, allowing a base runner. That happened in the last inning as well. Now, Toronto wasn't able to push any across, but you're flirting with danger in that scenario.
Yeah, execution, probably the word of the game that the Jackfish would like to find an answer to, is they cannot execute when they have a chance. Runners in scoring position, unable to get them across the plate. 2 outs, even 2 strike situations, 1 and 2 count, going all the way back to the first inning. First 2 batters of the game, 1 and 2 counts, full counts, and then they walk them every time. This is something the Jackfish will have to work on. Find adversity to get out and execute better going forward.
And it's a long season, of course, just playing here in their 4th game. The pitch was inside. It's a ball.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a baseball team go undefeated. Not in the IBL anyways. I don't know if that's ever happened.
Ground ball top to third base, and third base coach out there standing his ground, not moving an inch. Ball hit right at him. Playing a game of chicken out there. And it's a 1-2 count to the right fielder. Damon Toppoli, the DH, stands at first base. Pitch from Underhill, slashed away, foul, first base side. And the count remains at 1-2, and right there you saw Underhill kind of coming off the mound, kicking at the dirt a little bit. That's something we saw the starter, Wyatt Hummel, doing quite a bit. Maybe a little bit of trouble with that mound. But Underhill sits ahead in the count at 1-2 as he checks over at the runner at first base. Toppoli takes his lead, and the offering on the way. Foul ball once again. And we see it, this Toronto lineup, making the pitchers work, making them throw a lot of pitches. And that's going to bode well for them, not only in this game, but playing in that home-and-home back-to-back. It'll bode well for them next game as well, because the Jackfish are going to have to go into their bullpen here.
Yeah, they're playing a perfect road game. You come in against a team that's undefeated on, riding a pretty good high and hot streak right now, and you shut them out right now through 5 innings of work. 7-0 we sit. And you have to go right back to Christie Pitts tomorrow, where the Leafs play, their home games. They're used to a smaller ballpark. The Jackfish will have to adapt and find an answer and forget about this game rather quickly.
6th inning, 7-0, Maple Leafs 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Underhill got the strikeout. And that's the end of the inning. Topley gets on a hit by pitch with 2 outs, but can't get farther than first base. Still 7-0 Maple Leafs. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning here at Welland Stadium. Sixth inning we go, and it's Ethan Hunt for the Jackfish to lead off, the number 4 hitter in the lineup. 4-5-6 due up for the Fish. Hunt, Hogan Brown, and the DH Matt Hildebrandt. Kahn still on the mound, misses outside, and it's 1-0. Sebastian Kahn, in his second start of the season, has been effective. One 0 pitch, misses outside. And it's 2-0. In that first start of the season, he went 5 innings, now pitching into the 6th. We'll see if maybe looks a little bit tired. He's missed the first 2 pitches here to Hunt. Hunt slashes it foul. He was way late on that fastball, but still good velocity from the right-hander.
Yeah, you mentioned Kahn has been really good, and he absolutely has. Scoreless 5 zeros across the box scores so far. And he's able to work out a couple of jams. Jackfish, a couple of innings now. Runners on second and third, runners on the corners, and unable to score.
It gets under the glove of the first baseman, McCaskey. And Ethan Hunt is on first base. Not sure how that's going to be scored. It did go off the glove of the first baseman. As we wait for the official ruling.
Hit, yep.
Will go down as a hit. So first hit of the season, first hit in his IBL career. For Hunt as he takes his lead off at first, left-handed hitting Hogan Brown shoots a ball through the right side. Hunt had to wait. Now he's going to turn on the Jets and get around second base. Getting into third, standing up. Unbelievable base running from Ethan Hunt. And there's runners at the corners. Jackfish threatening now with Matt Hildebrandt walking to the dish.
Yeah, it looked like it could have just been a routine single and moved the base runner over to second, but boy, did he ever turn on the Jets as that ball just died right in front of the right fielder for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And once again, the Jackfish bats have been there today, been able to get a couple of timely hits, haven't been able to get runners in scoring position home. The pitching and runners in scoring position home has been the costly mistakes for the Jackfish this afternoon. As the hit count now, dead even at 5 in a 7-0 game.
Hildebrandt at the dish. Brown running for second. The throw down. Bounces in there. Not in time. Brown steals it. First stolen base of the game, 5th on the season for Hogan Brown. And now 2 runners in scoring position, and Matt Hildebrandt, known for coming up in some clutch spots. He's in one right now. Would be huge, like you said, to drive in a couple of those runners in scoring position where the Jackfish have struggled today. The 0-1 to Hildebrandt is outside. Reaching to make that catch was the catcher, and a good job to hold that runner at third base. And the count is 1-1 to the power hitting, left-handed hitting DH, and he tops the ball on the ground. It's foul. Down the first base line, it counts 1-2 now.
Well, if you remember against London, this is where the big man was able to pull one right down the first base line all the way to the wall and scored runs. That was the game-winning run as well. Now he sits in, a chance to get the Jackfish back in this game and on the board.
The 1-2 offering from Kahn pops straight up on the infield. Waiting for it is Serkinik to come down. Now moving into fair territory, sticks with it. Makes the play for the first out of the inning, and that was a tough play for the catcher. It was popped right up the chute. He came into foul territory, then had to take a few steps going back, crossing over to fair territory, but he stuck with it. And now 1 out with Sam Cocker coming to the plate.
Well, just before Sam Cocker stepped in the batter's box, he had a little bit of time in a talk with Serkinik there, asking about that pitch.
Ground ball up the middle, picked up nicely, throw on the run, and it bounces off the glove of the first baseman. And another run's going to come in to score. McCaskey had that ball bounce off his glove. 1 run, and Ethan Hunt was coming in to cross the plate. Hogan Brown followed right up on the air. And the Jackfish are on the board. It's 7-2.
Sometimes you got to take them however you can get them, and that right there is certainly an example of that. As they're able to score, as which we thought would be a routine ground ball, and it would have been the second out of the inning. Now 1 out with a runner aboard. It's 7-2. So that costly error cost 2 runs for the Maple Leafs, and brings up Zardley Cena, who's had a really good start of his season.
Cena takes the first pitch for a strike. Batting in the number 8 spot today. Grounded out to the third baseman back in the second inning, and then he flew out to center field in the 5th. 0 for 2 on the day. 7-2 Maple Leafs lead. Sam Cocker standing at first base. Inside, drills Zardley Cena. That'll push Cocker into scoring position. Now runners at first and second for the number 9 hitter, Mike Wagner, who's also had a good start to his day.
Well, Kahn now trying to find an answer here as Damon Topoli's going to come out and have a quick word and a little mountain visit. Nobody warming up in the bullpen for the Maple Leafs here. So the Jackfish getting a little momentum here. A couple of errors from the Toronto Maple Leafs in this inning. But this is where the Jackfish have to be able to make them pay. We talked about momentum, and we talked about executing. And this is where, put it all together. Solve that survival puzzle, as Jeff Prost would say. Finally, cash in something here in the 6th.
So it is the Buffalo, New York native, Mike Wagner, coming to the plate, playing in his second season with the Jackfish. Came about midway through that season last year. His last time up, hit a ball into center field for a base hit. And he's looking to replicate that right now with a runner at second base. First pitch swinging, fouls it away. He's behind in the count, 0-1. Like you said, Kahn having to throw a lot of pitches here in this inning, and that's really the first time he's been worked over by this Jackfish offense. So you'd think at some point they're going to have to get a reliever up.
Well, he's thrown 86 pitches now.
As he gets a swing and a miss from Wagner, that ball was outside. And he's ahead now, 0-2. Seven to 2 our score. Maple Leafs lead it. 1 out. Zardley Cena standing at first base. Cocker at second. Pitch to Wagner. It's outside. And it's 1-2 now.
Well, in a 7-2 game, this is an inning that could really be pivotal. You've already put 2 on the board. That gains a little bit of momentum, but this could really open up here the Jackfish, get them a little bit closer. with still 2 outs, only 1 out rather, here in the 6th inning.
Breaking ball outside. It's 2-2, and they finally got those 2 runs across. We'll see if that can open up the floodgates. Only 1 out in this inning. The number 9 hitter and shortstop, Mike Wagner, trying to get more runs across. They have 2 so far. And the 2-2 pitch popped up foul. That'll get out of play. And the Jackfish in this inning, especially in this at-bat with Wagner kind of taking a page out of the Maple Leafs book, fouling off a lot of pitches, working the count deep, and making the pitcher throw a lot of pitches.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned it. Kahn is now having to work a lot harder than he had to his whole first 5 innings, as this is the first true test for him now. He's had runners in scoring positions, but he hasn't had to throw many pitches.
2-2 once again. Blooped into center field. Moving over is the center fielder Carrington. Still on the run. He gets there. Makes the play. And the second out of the inning. Runners don't advance.
While Carrington's been great in the field for the Maple Leafs this afternoon, he's shown his speed on several occasions. He stole one from the Jackfish in the 5th, running all the way over, almost into left field as that ball was hit with not much height on it, and is able to take that one away as well. So a couple of key defensive plays from the center fielder this afternoon.
And once again off the bat, I thought that ball was going to drop down in front of the center fielder, but using his great closing speed to get there. And there's 2 outs for the leadoff hitter, Gio Morello, and he bounces a ball to first base, picked up cleanly, take it to the bag himself. And the inning is over. The Jackfish do score 2, but strand 2, and they still trail it 7-2 as we go to the 7th.
It's pizza time.
Seventh inning now as the shortstop, Noah Chan. And number 9 hitter comes in to lead off this inning, Brandon Underhill, still on the mound. As he works to the 9-1-2 portion of this Maple Leafs lineup. First pitch of the inning, swing and a miss from Chan. And it's 0-1, and this has really been a huge outing for Underhill. He comes in, he's given up a couple runs, but to give them some length out of that bullpen, not need to use up too many pitchers as they play another game tomorrow as well.
Yeah, I was going to say he's done a tremendous job coming out of the pen, actually, in a really sticky situation. Go back to that third inning where he was able to get Hummel out of a huge jam, leave the bases loaded. But you're right, he wasn't expected to go this many innings for sure, I'm assuming. And I didn't expect him to come in the third, that's for sure. But you're right, he's done a huge team job, go all the way to the 7th inning now. And nobody really stretching or warming up in the pen for the Jackfish yet.
We did see Casey Howard get up momentarily a couple innings back. but no motion down there right now as Chan fouls it away. And it's 1-2. One-two pitch, grounded out to second base. Dupuis to a knee. Throw it to first in time. 1 out.
Left fielder number 10, Greg.
And despite the 7 runs, the Jackfish defense has been really solid today, especially up the middle of the field. Morello's made a few plays in center field. Dupuis and Wagner have both looked strong as well.
Well, I mean, you look at the box score. The box score says it all. You can't read it enough. It's 7-2, and the hits are 5-5. That alone paints the picture of this ball game.
First pitch fouled over there to that Welland Jackfish dugout. And the count is 0-1 to the leadoff hitter, Tamain. Tamain in his last time up hit a ball into foul territory that Zarly Cena made a great diving play on. And he sits in an 0-1 count, takes one down and outside. And the count is 1-1. Underhill working out of the full windup, working quickly here in the 7th inning, and he runs it inside, drills another hitter. Tamain down to first.
Well, it's almost as if you're trying to bruise them up for tomorrow. This has been very uncharacteristic of the Jackfish. They've hit so many batters today and given free bases. Something they'll have to clean up as Brian Esri now looks down and motions towards the bullpen as we see Greg Marco catching in the bullpen this afternoon get up.
The 5th hit batsman of the game from Jackfish pitching. Then on the other side, there's been a hit batter on the Welland side as well. So 6 in total in this game. And now the number 2 hitter, Carrington, comes up and he socks a ball in the air center field. Morello running, still running, reaches up on the track, and he hauls it in. The runner Tamain's all the way around second. He's got to go back to first. The throw in there, and it is not in time, or he's off the bag. The throw beat him, but Cena's foot was off the bag as he had to stretch to get there. Tamain overran first base and then had to dive back and got in there safely.
Well, Morello at the wall, what a huge catch to get that out. All the way to the warning track, had his back to the ball, able to make that grab, and then the throw in, unable to get the play at first, but unable to tag him as well, as the base runner Tamain was off the bag. Nearly able to turn that into a double play and end the half inning.
From up here, it looked like Cena kept his foot on the base. Of course, we don't have a great vantage point from up in the press box, but the runner Tamain overran first base. So you still could have tagged the runner. He wasn't on first. But he got back safely, and that'll give another opportunity, and it's Garrett Takamatsu coming to the dish with 2 outs, and this Toronto lineup very potent, especially this guy coming up. You don't want to give them extra outs and allow them to score any more than they already have. As Takamatsu takes outside corner for a strike, and it's 1-1. I said Takamatsu off to a bit of a slow start to his standards on the season. Still hasn't driven in a run.
Yeah, .333 batting average, but you're right. Has a couple of hits, but no RBIs, no home runs in that so far.
Next pitch from Underhill, hit in the air, center field. Morello still going back, now running, turns around, reaches up and makes the catch on the warning track about 400 feet away. So 2 sparkling defensive plays by Gio Morello in center field, and the Jackfish get out of it unscathed as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Home half of the seventh we go. It's Tyler Dupuis, the second baseman, number 2 hitter in this order. 2, 3, 4 due up in the seventh inning as the Jackfish try to inch a little bit closer as they trail 7-2 here. As we're in the last third of this game, 1-0 pitch to Dupuis, just drifts outside. And the count is 2-0. Dupuis, in his first time up to the dish, had a hit to left field. He's also had a double into center and grounded into a fielder's choice. So a good day at the plate for a hitter that's been hot all season. Nicholson on deck waiting. Ethan Hunt to follow him inside and high. And it's 3-0 now for Tyler Dupuis. Kahn now taking a little bit of time standing off the back of the mound, and that's not something that we've seen too often from him today. Is the 3-0 pitch over the outside corner. It's 3-1. He's thrown a lot of strikes despite the last inning. 1, he's thrown a lot of strikes, and 2, he's worked very quickly. Pitching out of the full windup, 3-1 pitch, missing outside. Dupuis draws a leadoff walk. And Brandon Nicholson now gets a chance. Runner at first base in a 7-2 ball game. Again, this will be huge. Dupuis with speed on first base. Maybe can get into scoring position and see if you can knock in a few runs in this inning to keep inching yourself closer.
It's all you can do at this point. It's, similar situation to the London Majors. Same score, of course, where the Jackfish were able to come out of that jam. But there's nothing else more you could do. You have to inch closer, find a way, and scrap together any bases you can.
So throw over to first base, Dupuis back easily. And, of course, everybody knows that he's been running a lot on the bases, so quick throw over there. Make sure he's not going anywhere. He wasn't. Now the first pitch of the at-bat to Nicholson misses inside, and it's 1-0. And now going back to that last inning, now coming into here the seventh, Kahn has started to lose the strike zone a little bit. As he's nearing the 100 pitch plateau, still nobody warming up down in that bullpen. 1-0 pitch, outside corner strike. Evened up at 1-1. McCaskey holds the runner on at first base. Dupuis gets his lead just around the cut of the grass. And he's running. And it's grounded on the ground to second baseman Takamatsu. Off the base runner Dupuis. He'll be ruled out. He was on the move there and didn't look back in on the steal. Was caught by the baseball on the way to second base, so that'll be the first out of the inning. Nicholson gets on at first.
Yeah, unfortunately not looking at the baseball at all, as he had a good jump off first base, but that's just been the type of day it's been for the Jackfish this afternoon. Taking off nearly at second base, and he's frustrated with himself as he gets tagged out by that hit. Something you don't see very often, but now the Maple Leafs almost get a freebie with that, and they have one away in the same position.
So here comes Ethan Hunt to the plate. Had a hit right field his last time up. This time he lines a ball, and it's going to get down. Nicholson motoring around second base. He touches the corner at third. Ricky Pilateri's waving him home, and he comes across the plate to score on an RBI double for Ethan Hunt. And it's now 7-3.
Well, Ethan Hunt, welcome to Jackfish Baseball, as he has really found his groove in this ball game. We said he was able to get that first hit, first crack of the bat for the Jackfish, and now gets the crowd back into it, it gets the boys back into it. Obviously, it makes that error by the base running of Morello as he gets tagged out from that ball. But with that, now all of a sudden the Jackfish find themselves a 4-run deficit and a runner in scoring position here, still with only one out.
And still nobody up in the bullpen. On the Jackfish side, Casey Howard was throwing. We'll see if he comes into the game for the next inning. First pitch from Kahn to the left-handed hitting Hogan Brown. Just catches the outside. And the count's 0-1. Brown hitting with a runner in scoring position in the back half of this game. The Jackfish doing a little better job hitting with runners on base as it slashed away foul to start the ball game. Didn't have much luck with runners in scoring position. Now they've scored runs in the past 2 innings.
Yeah, you mentioned that there's nobody up in the bullpen for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's already now thrown 103 pitches here in the bottom half of the 7th. And it's not like they're really shorthanded today. They have quite a few guys here available.
Hogan Brown hits the ball on the ground. Salazzo gloves it. He fires it across the diamond. Not in time, or it is in time. Runners pulled off the bag. Aiden McCaskey, the first baseman, reached out for that throw from John Salazzo and couldn't keep his foot engaged with first base. So another error, and Hogan Brown's going to get on. And now here comes Matt Hildebrand.
Yeah, the only unfortunate part is unable to go from second to third, so that only leaves one base runner in scoring position. But the Jackfish catch a break. They give up that base runner of Tyler Dupuis after being hit by that baseball, and now they're able to get a break here and have two base runners aboard with only one out here in the 7th.
And a power hitter at the plate, that's for sure. The designated hitter today, Matt Hildebrand, with the catcher Sam Cocker waiting on deck. Both runners moving, and there's not going to be a play at either bag. Hunt steals third, Brown steals second. Two runners in scoring position with one away.
Well, if you can execute the double steal perfectly, it just happened right there as no throw, as the catcher had nowhere to go with it. Just simply looked at both bags. No one was even close to being able to make that play at either bag, and now two runners in scoring position.
Pitch to Hildebrand on the ground, and it's going to get through into right field. Hudson to score. Brown motoring around third. He's going to cross the plate. 2 RBI single, Matt Hildebrand, and it's 7-5.
Well, boy, this seems very familiar. I mean, what can you say? You're down 7-2, you make it 7-5, and you're right, the bats have come alive when they have runners in scoring position here in the later half of this game. They put up 2 in the 6th, now 3 here in the 7th. Hildebrand on board at first, one-out situation. Now to Sam Cocker. If you can turn it again and go back to the top of the order, you could really do some damage here in the 7th.
So Cocker drove in 2 runs the last inning. And Matt Hildebrand batting in that number 6 spot. Last season he hit a lot in the top of the lineup, more down towards the bottom this year, but still finding himself in a lot of clutch situations, and he's been able to come up huge in the early going this season as the ball's down low. And it's 1-0. Hildebrand just been that guy in his second season with the Jackfish. Seems to come up in the clutch quite a bit. And it's now a 7-5 game. Toronto leading it. Hildebrand takes his lead off of first. They're going to throw behind him. He slides back in safely.
Hey, we'll take that. Absolutely. And if you're Hildebrand, that's a huge plus and a huge smile on his face. As not often you will ever see him try to steal a bag. So for him to be, a pickoff attempt towards Hildebrand, he'll take that.
2-0 count to Cocker. Misses low. It's 3-0 now to the Jackfish catcher. With 1 out in a 7-5 game. Hildebrand standing at first base, being held on. And the next pitch, it's up high. Cocker walks. And here comes Zarlicina.
Well, Zarlicina comes into this in a good situation now, as they'll have a mound visit. As Damon Topley will come out, and I believe that is the second time this inning he's come out, no?
So he's just going to have a chat. He came out the last inning.
Okay, last day, but like I said, there's nobody even warming up in the bullpen. So if they are changing the pitcher, I don't know if Topley's going to pitch or they're going to find someone right from the dugout itself, but not one movement
stands,
at
maybe.
all. Kind of a rare situation here.
So a long meeting at the mound. Home plate umpire Chris Walters had to go out there and break it up. And it's the number 8 hitter and first baseman, Zarlicina, with a runner at second base, runner at first base as well. Not a ton of speed on the bases. Mike Wagner waits on deck for Cena. He was hit his last time up. He's also grounded out to third and flown out to center field. Looking to pick up his first base hit of the ball game. First pitch of the at-bat to Cena, misses down low. He's ahead in the count 1-0, and now that's been a theme. Kahn's fallen behind hitters where early on he was getting ahead of them almost every at-bat.
Yeah, and really, he's not missing by much at all, as he still thinks that's a little bit low in the strike zone, according to the home plate umpire, Chris Long. But you're right. Again, now 2-0, and downstairs seems to be his miss. Each time he's falling behind in the count, he's missing down below the strike zone.
And that could be a sign of fatigue as well. Now, well over 100 pitches, still nobody up in that Toronto bullpen. And his whole pace has really just changed. Early on, he was pouring strikes over, working quickly. Now he's really slowed down as he misses the plate once again. And the count runs to 3-0.
Well, you almost wonder if he's getting frustrated with his team itself. Not one person warming up in the bullpen. You don't know what was said on the mound visit, but with no sign of him coming out of the ball game in a 3-0 situation, the frustration level for sure mounting as he loads the bases with another walk.
So the bases are loaded now for the number 9 hitter and shortstop, Mike Wagner. Wagner had a hit back in the 5th inning into center field, and now there will be somebody finally getting up and going down to that bullpen. Chris Nagorski going down there. Mike Wagner up, takes down low. It's ball 1. Bases loaded, number 9 hitter up. Leadoff hitter Gio Morello waiting on deck. The 1-0 pitch to Wagner, right at the knees. He gets the strike that time. And it's 1-1, but still really working the bottom of that zone. He's missed quite a bit, like you mentioned, as there is somebody now loosening up. Finally, as Wagner swings and misses at a high fastball. And there's 1-2, and that really begs the question. You had guys down there to come in for relief, and not getting up until he's in a really bad situation now. As Wagner takes low, it's 2-2. You would think you'd want to get a reliever up a bit earlier on to avoid something like this happening. And you can see he's really laboring on the mound right now.
Yeah, it used to be a lot quicker. Now he's finally, slowly getting into it.
Ball hit to second base. Takamatsu gloves it. He only plays to first. Hildebrandt comes in to score, and it's a 1-run game.
Well, the Jackfish take advantage here. They simply, they trade a run for an out there, and with that, 7-6 the score. Runners on second and third now as we go back to the top of the order for Gio Morello. So a huge inning for the Jackfish, a game that they were well out of. And now, 7-6 here, bottom 7. Got to take advantage of when they give it to you. They open the door. You have to walk right through it.
Morello, the 9th man to come to the plate. Here in this 7th inning, fastball on the outside corner, taken for a strike. Morello, chance to hit. He's driven in 2 runs on this season, 2 runners out there in scoring position, and he lines the ball down the left field line, a base hit. Cockers in to score. Going around third base is Cena. He'll cross the plate as well. Huge RBI double for Gio Morello, and the Jackfish lead it now by 1.
What can you say other than these? They don't stop coming back. Another 6-run inning. The London Majors, if you're watching, it's not just you they do it against, as now they've done it to the Toronto Maple Leafs here in the 7th. 6 runs, 2-out situation, and they're still not going to take the pitcher out of the ball game. And Kahn will continue to pitch. 8-7 now for the Jackfish with a runner in scoring position off that 2-run RBI double.
So Dupuis coming up for the second time this inning. Morello's running. There's not even going to be a play at third. And now he's 90 feet away. And that's a huge 90 feet. Moving from second into third base. You're thinking with 2 outs, what difference does it really make? Well, now, a ball in the dirt, you could possibly get another run home. As Dupuis awaits the 1-0 pitch. Check swing. Ball was up high. Appeal down to first base. No swing, says first base umpire Ben Mercier. And Tyler Dupuis up now 2-0 in the count as the bullpen continues to move down there for Toronto. And now the Jackfish leading at 8-7. You think that would necessitate a pitching change, but nothing yet. As Kahn fires one at the letters. And it's 2-1 now.
Well, if you're Khan, how much more can you take? Is you got to be getting frustrated, like I said. They finally have someone up in the bullpen, but he's given up 6 here, and the inning's still going as it's now 3-1.
He missed down low again. And you can see not only the control has been lost from Khan, but the velocity's dipped a little bit as well. 3-1 pitch to Dupuis. Popped up. That ball's going to get out of play, foul. Counts now 3-2, and you mentioned it. This Jackfish team really just never say die attitude. They struggled in the beginning to hit with runners in scoring position, but they didn't let that discourage them now. They've driven in a ton of runs. 6 runs scored in this 7th inning. The pitch is high, and Tyler Dupuis is going to take a walk now. Runners at the corners for Brandon Nicholson.
Well, when you look at the management of Jason McKay and Brian Esri, what they've done with this team, clearly they have the right, the batting order, the key parts in place here to run this well-oiled machine. The pitching wasn't going well today, and with that, they're able to find a way to score 6 runs and get them back in the game. So with that, another kind of brief little meeting on the mound. Wonder if they're betting when they're going to change the pitcher themselves. I don't know. But if this would be any time, you think it would be now with another runners on the corners, a run that could make it a 2-run game is only 90 feet away. To me, it just doesn't make sense why he has not been pulled from this ball game.
Chris Nagorski in that Toronto bullpen just starting to throw off the mound. Now the pitch to Nicholson. It's outside. Runners on the move. Dupuis steals another one. The ball gets away. Morello head first dive. He's safe. Great base running. Now the catcher's arguing with the umpire. Dupuis moves into third base. Unbelievable base running from Morello to score. Dupuis going around second on the stolen base, getting into third, and now another runner's 90 feet away.
Wow. I mean, what else can you say?
A lot to unpack on that one.
Wow. All the way from first to third, the ball gets away from the catcher, and a very close play. Everyone's watching the play, and he's able to go all the way around, take 2 bags, and now a run that could go up by 3 is only 90 feet away.
Pitch is up. It's 2-0, and just not a scenario you see very often. Dupuis was running on the pitch. It's a passed ball from the catcher. And then, as you said, he was having a conversation with the home plate umpire and just complete heads-up base running by Dupuis. And 3-0 now. Sebastian Kahn taking his time behind the rubber, now steps on. 3-0 pitch to Nicholson. He pours over for a strike. It's 3-1. You'd have to think this is his last batter.
Well, he's only pitched 129 balls. He's still got lots of juice in the tank, according to Damon Topley at the moment.
Cracked in the air, high on the infield. Coming over now is the shortstop, Chan, and he makes the catch to finally retire the side, but the Jackfish score 7 times in the 7th inning to lead now 9-7 as we go to the top of the 8th. Let's go to the 8th inning now. Brendan Lang here, still with you with Spencer Tangway as Casey Howard comes out of the bullpen to make his second appearance on the season.
Well, yeah, you mentioned it. Underhill goes a pretty good distance as he comes out of the pen in the third. Didn't expect him to go that often. Didn't expect him to go that far, rather. And he does a fantastic job for the Jackfish, keeping him in that game, keeping the Maple Leafs only at 7 after a disastrous start to this game. But what a turn of events in the last couple of innings. They put up 2 in the 6th and then 7 in the 7th to get that 9-7 lead now. Something they haven't had all game as the Maple Leafs were up early and very quickly in this ball game.
First pitch from Howard out of the bullpen, fouled straight back by John Salazzo, the third baseman, leading off here in the 8th inning. After Salazzo will be McCaskey, and then Brady Serkanik, the catcher, will be due up third in this inning. Howard comes set at the belt, left-handed, hitting Salazzo in the box. Next pitch from Howard, shot on the ground to the shortstop Wagner. He picks it up quickly, throws it to first. In time. Good, quick first out from Casey Howard. And you talked about just a great job out of the bullpen from Brandon Underhill. He sets up this game now. He kept them in it. The Jackfish now take the lead. And now they have their top bullpen arms ready to go when they need to close out this game up by 2.
Yeah, you look at his stat line. He went 4 1/3, gave up 4 earned runs, and walked 2, only struck out 2. It doesn't look as as great as you'd like it to be. But in the situation that he came in, not much more you could ask out of him, as he's not expected to go 4 1/3 inning in a situation where you're already down a bunch of runs in a terrible spot. So a tough spot, a really good outing by him, and now Casey Howard comes in with a 2-run lead.
And as Casey Howard comes out of the bullpen, Chris Bowato, the left-hander, gets up in the bullpen, starts warming up. Howard ahead, 0-1. Next pitch, swing and a miss, high fastball. Got him to swing through it. And it's 0-2.
Howard, always so calm when he comes out of the bullpen. He's a really veteran guy that can help this team and help this young pitching staff in a rotation out of the bullpen as well. So calm and poised every time he throws that pitch out of the pen.
The 0-2, it's inside to McCaskey. And the count's now 1-2, 9-7. Jackfish lead this one in a crazy game. Jackfish have really been able to come back so far in this early season. Never being out of the game. Next pitch from Howard just misses high. The count's even at 2-2 now. Howard is one of those guys that will be relied upon in the back end of the bullpen. He was a starter at different points in his IBL career, but now mostly pitching out of the bullpen. He did make one start a season ago in 12 appearances, as he misses low that time to McCaskey. And the count runs full at 3-2, and right coming out of the bullpen, he's going after these hitters. Got the quick ground ball, then got ahead of this one 0-2. But the count has been worked back to full by McCaskey. The full count offering, one away. Fly ball left field. Brown moving towards the line, now coming in a little bit, makes the catch. And there's 2 out. On a massive pitch right there, he got back to the full count, then zoned it back in. Got the good pitch on the outside corner and a lazy fly ball to left field.
Yeah, Howard's been with the organization, with the Burlington Herd, all the way back to the 2017 summer, where he had an ERA, his worst of 14.477 in only 17 and 2/3 innings pitched. But 150 innings so far Howard has been able to pitch in just 5 years here in the IBL.
First pitch now over the outside corner. Serkanik, the catcher, was a part of one of the biggest plays in that 7th inning when he had the passed ball get by him as he bends down to tie his shoe. Had the passed ball get past him, and then, as he was having a conversation with the home plate umpire, allowed the runner Dupuis, who was stealing on the play, to move into third base as well. So he's ahead 0-1. Comes set, and the 0-1 offering on the way misses outside. Bounced in the dirt, in fact. And it's 1-1 now as the DH Damon Toppoli waits on deck.
Well, it looked like he overextended on that one. Boy, did he ever pull that one down and right away. And you could tell right when it left his fingertips, he was frustrated with himself.
Brady Circonick, the catcher, does have some pop. He showed that off in the 4th inning when he had a home run to center field. And now he grounds the ball wide of third base. Down there to that Jackfish bullpen. And once again, Howard ahead in the count, and he's done a great job of doing that since coming in the game out of the bullpen. He's ahead 1-2, trying to work a 1-2-3 inning, and that would do wonders for this team if they can get the offense back up there, see if they can keep that momentum going and score a few insurance runs before going to the 9th. Pitch from Howard, laced back up the middle. That's going to drop in front of the center fielder Morello for a base hit. Brady Circonick on with his 2nd hit of the game, on for the 3rd time, and that'll bring up the DH Damon Toppoli.
Yeah, he's had a really terrific game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. You mentioned it. Showed that pop, able to get the ball out of the park here at Welland Stadium with that lone home run in the ball game with 16 runs coming across the plate between the two ball clubs. But he has been lights out for the Toronto Maple Leafs at the dish today. 2 for 4 in the ball game.
And now he waits at first base, taking his lead with Zarlicina holding him on. First pitch to Toppoli, misses down low. And the count is 1-0 after Toppoli will be the right fielder, Nico Canonicio. Howard, though, trying to work out of this to the DH Toppoli. Toppoli hits it right back up the middle. Wagner slides, makes the play, touches the bag with his glove. And another great defensive play for the Jackfish up the middle. Mike Wagner made the play to end the inning. So the Maple Leafs get one on, but they don't score. We go to the bottom of the 8th now. Jackfish lead it by 2. It's 9-7. Bottom of the 8th inning, Ethan Hunt stepping up to the plate. Hunt in that last inning had a RBI double. 2 hits in the game so far. He's 2 for 4. Also struck out back in the first, grounded out as he fouls one straight back.
I saw you stick your arm up there.
Trying to make a play up here. Been watching the game, want to get a ball. 0-1 pitch inside, drills him. Ethan Hunt takes one on the inside, drills him in the arm, and we didn't mention it off the top of this inning, but there is a pitching change. Sebastian Connie is out of the game after going, how many pitches did you say that was?
130.
130 pitches.
Count. Yeah, second pitch now for Nagorski, and it beams him. So a base runner aboard, which will bring up Brown, but not the way it started. Junior pitcher as well coming out of the pen for the Maple Leafs here. And a tough spot. Jackfish up by 2 here in the bottom half of the 8th, and he beams the first batter he faces.
So the pitch, swing and a miss from Brown. Nagorski has appeared in one other game so far this season. He went 2 innings in relief. Did pick up a save for Toronto in their win against Brantford. 0-1 count to Brown. Outside, coming out of the chute was the catcher Serkinik. Wanted to throw down there to first base, with Ethan Hunt taking a decent-sized secondary lead. But it didn't happen. And now time is called as a ball from the Jackfish bullpen goes astray.
It's never a good sign. I mean, it happens all the time, but still never a good sign for any bullpen to have to stop a game as the ball is in play.
One count to the left-handed hitting Hogan Brown. Pitch drifts outside. It's 2-1. Brown been on base twice today, as he bats with a chance to extend this lead a little bit, and you'll take any runs you can get in this scenario, hitting in the bottom of the 8th inning. And the runner's on the move. Swing and a miss from Brown at the plate. Throw down to second. Not in time. The ball's actually dropped out there by the shortstop, Chan. And a stolen base for Ethan Hunt. So Hunt gets into second base. Now in scoring position, nobody away. 2-2 count to Hogan Brown. Brown Brown still looking for his first RBI on the season. Has a great opportunity right here with nobody out and a runner out there at second base. 9-7 is the score. Jackfish lead it just inside. Count now 3-2.
Pretty good pitch there by the youngster, the junior for the Toronto Maple Leafs in Nagorski. Backs him off the plate just a bit, but home plate umpire Chris Long siding with the batter this time.
3-2 count to Brown, and the pitch outside, swing and a miss. He got the strikeout. That pitch looked like it was probably off the plate outside. Got Brown to chase it. So 1 out, Matt Hildebrandt coming up, and he has possibly one of, if not the biggest hit in the game for the Jackfish. Had a 2 RBI single his last time up.
Well, Hildebrandt, that's what he does best, right? Is the DH spot. You're supposed to come in and get those timely hits and get on base. And you dates back all the way to the London game. He gets that timely game-winning run. And he does the same thing here today. Gets the Jackfish right back in the game, making it a 2-run game.
Runner still out there at second is Hunt. And he pops it up down the left field line. Looks like it's going to get down, and it's fair. Ethan Hunt motoring around third base. He crosses home. Hildebrandt another RBI single. And a 3-run lead now. The Jackfish lead it 10-7.
Well, to be an RBI single for Hildebrandt, and he couldn't have blooped that to a better spot. That was well placed, as no effort coming from the Toronto Maple Leafs outfielders to even try to make an attempt for that ball, as there was no way they were getting to it in time. And with that, the Jackfish hit double digits now and take a 10-7 lead, as Hildebrandt's day will be over with a pinch runner.
So Hildebrandt out of the game. It's Tyson Gaum coming in to run, and Sam Cocker comes up to the plate, and it's not something you see. You don't usually see softly hit balls from Hildebrandt, but that time the defense has to play back. The outfield respect the power of Hildebrandt And he just got it off the end of the bat, dropped it in front of the left fielder. And now with the pinch runner, got some speed out there at first base in Tyson Gom. The catcher, Sam Cocker, walks up to the plate, and he slices a ball foul. That'll get into the seats out of play. The count now 0-1.
Yeah, the last time Tyson came in for Matt Hildebrand, he tried to steal. And we'll see if he does the same thing here with a one-out situation, 10-7 lead. Doesn't have much of a leadoff, though.
It's right short lead there at first. And the pitch to Cocker, bluffed to steal, and it's hit into center field. Moving in, now still on the run is Carrington. He gets there, catches the ball about waist high. For the second out of the inning, Gone back to first.
Well, now with 2 outs and Zarnley Cena coming up to the plate. Couldn't ask for much more for the Jackfish here as Zarnley Cena has really had an impressive afternoon once again. You have to be happy with his performance, both in the field and at the plate.
2 outs, runner still at first base. Breaking ball just misses on the inside corner. Cena, great take. And it's 1-0. Cena, the number 8 hitter and first baseman today. Mike Wagner waiting on deck if Cena can find a way on base. Here in this 8th inning, Cena swings and pops it up on the infield. Shortstop Chan calling everybody off now, makes the catch to retire the side. So the Jackfish do get one on an RBI single from Matt Hildebrand. They lead it by 3 as we go to the 9th. Closing time here at the pond. Chris Boato into the game with his 3rd appearance of the year, looking for his 2nd save of the season.
Yeah, you just mentioned 2nd save opportunity. The first one coming against the Brantford Red Sox. Never even thought of it, but you're right. Pitched 3 innings of work in that outing, gets the save. So now in a 3-run ball game, gets his opportunity as that first pitch just at the feet. I thought it almost hit him. but definitely would like a regroup. But he already has one save of the year. Bowato coming out of the pen to close this one out. As you mentioned, closing time. Good song from Semisonic as well. Just got me in the groove for it.
Bowato pours the next pitch over. The lefty is even in the count now, 1-1. And here comes the 1-1 offering. Bounced right back to the mound. Bowato gloves it, jogs halfway there, flips it underhand, and there's one gone.
Well, it's got to feel good getting the first out like that after throwing that first pitch array right down in the dirt. Now gets a ball bounced right back to him, and that he's able to be a part of that opening out here. Now 2 away from save number 2.
And talking to Brian Essery before the game, he was talking about who the rotation is, and then Bowato, kind of that main guy out of the bullpen. He loves how quickly he works, and we've talked about that on the broadcast before. He takes 0 time between pitches. I remember last game against Hamilton, he was standing on the mound, shaking his head, waiting for the batter to get back into the batter's box.
Well, you got to do what works. If there's a lot of different styles, of course, as once again comes way inside.
He got the bunt foul for the first strike, and then that ball inside. And as a lefty, kind of gives you Mark Burley vibes, working very quickly. Little different assortment of pitches than Mark Burley had, but same kind of pace on the mound. And he takes down low. It's 2-1. 2-1 count to the number 9 hitter, Chan. Waiting on deck is Grant Tamain. The left fielder, Bowato's pitch, sawed him off down the first base line, and it's a fair ball. Cena couldn't glove it. Moving around first base. Now going into second. Throw there. Head first dive, and he's safe. Noah Chan with a double down the line. And now a runner at second base. Bowato gave up that one, and Cena kind of slid there, just got under his glove, but a tough play.
Oh, no doubt a tough play. And a fair ball that just stayed in fair and scooted out to the foul side of the bag after first base. But you're right, a tough play to get any chance of it out at second, as the throw was well off the mark.
And now we go back to the top of the order, and Grant Tamain, the right-handed hitter, facing the lefty. The first time he'll have an opportunity to face a pitcher with a different handedness. The first left-handed pitcher into the game for the Jackfish. Bowato looks in to get his sign. Pitching from the stretch with the runner at second. Fires one at the knees. It's strike one. And talking to Brian Essery before the game about that pace, he said he loves it. Loves being in the dugout when Bowato's on the mound. Working quickly, and it just keeps everybody engaged in the game. Working quickly again. Pitches inside. And seems to be a point of emphasis for him coming out of the bullpen as a left-handed pitcher to those right-handed hitters. Really trying to work that inside part of the plate. And now time is called as the runner at second, Chan, has to give his elbow guard to the third base coach. That's Damon Topley now down there at third base. Gets his sign. See if he comes in again. Cocker setting up on the outside part of the plate now, and he throws it there, but he just missed. And it's 2-1, and a little bit of an anomaly for Bowato. A lot of the time coming out of the bullpen, throws a lot of strikes. This time he's missed a little bit, falling behind in the count. Now it's 2-1 to Grant Tamain. His next pitch, topped on the ground to third base. Scoop, throw across the diamond. It's high. Cena gloves it, comes down on the bag, and they got him.
Well, that could have been a lot worse than that looked, as the throw was well above the first baseman's head. Had to leap up, grab it, and find the bag on the way down quickly as he was moved off the bag with that throw. But a good job by the first baseman, Zartely Cena, to get over there quickly enough, get it down in time, and get the out. And now 2 outs here in the top of the 9th inning, just 1 away.
So it's Carrington, the center fielder, has the last chance here in the 9th. And he swings and misses at a fastball left on left. Greg Carrington today had a hit to center field in the 5th inning, trying to come through with a runner on third base and 2 out. Next pitch poured right over. It's strike 2. And the Maple Leafs are down to their final strike.
Well, much more like Bowato there. 2 fastballs to get it going. And with that, down to the final out, and everybody's on their feet here.
0-2 pitch on the way, runs inside, and drills Greg Carrington. And Garrett Takamatsu now, as the tying run, will stroll into the batter's box.
I don't know what it is today, but that's the amount of batters that have been hit. Both sides. We've almost had a season worth in this ball game. By the way, the game now over 3 hours, 5 minutes long. One of the longest ones for the Jackfish this season.
So Bowato, it's going to be a little bit of a difficult save if he can get it. This ball's rifled into the gap. 1 run's going to come in to score. Stopping at second base is Greg Carrington. And Garrett Takamatsu picks up his first RBI on the season. And it's a 10-8 game now.
Third baseman number 17, John Salazzo.
Gotta love the fans from Toronto here making the trip down. Cheering on Takamatsu with their chant. A huge RBI. Now makes it a 10-8 ball game, as you said.
So Noah Chan comes across to score. John Salazzo, the third baseman, now coming up to get a chance left on left. Still 2 out in the inning. Bowato just 1 pitch away from getting out of this, and the Jackfish picking up a high-scoring victory as he gets a fastball past Salazzo.
Well,
and it counts 0-1.
Big swing by Salazzi. He wanted that pitch. He wants the fastball clearly, as he showed his cards on that one. A huge cut. Unable to catch up with it, though, and down 0-1.
Next pitch to Salazzo. Swing and a miss. Looked like it was off the outside edge, but he got the swing through it, and now once again, the Maple Leafs down to their final strike. Takamatsu got down to the final strike, but then ended up getting an RBI single. Bowato looking to end it. Jackfish lead at 10-8. The pitch is inbound, fouled straight back. And Salazzo stays alive.
Well, and this is what Toronto has done all afternoon. Jackfish been able to get that lead back, but they've been able to claw away at pitchers and keep at-bats alive. And you saw it right there from Salazzo. A huge at-bat continues now for the Maple Leafs.
10-8 score, 0-2 count to the third baseman, John Salazzo, as Bowato steps off. Salazzo hitting in the 4 spot today. Has 2 hits, also a walk, been on base 3 times in this game. Bowato looking to end it right here. The 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball just missed outside. Or maybe a little bit low. Bowato thought he got the strike, and you could see him asking the home plate umpire, Chris Walters, was that down? Couldn't really tell. That's what he was asking him, and I don't think he got much of an explanation.
No, and I don't think he's going to take much time either. Like you said, he likes to get right back into it. He'll forget about that pitch.
1-2 count to Salazzo, and the pitch inside, almost hit him. The ball bounces off the home plate umpire, Chris Walters, and he's down in a heap.
Well, that caught him I believe either in the knee or the ankle, as it took a 1-hop low at his right leg. And he is hunched over as Scotty Johnson comes out from the Jackfish dugout. But I'm not sure where that hit him, but he is, like you said, he is in a lot of pain. But right away, went down. Immediately, John Salazzo turns around and looks at the home plate umpire. But he's up on his feet, seems to be okay.
It looks like he may be shaking out that right hand.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Now, I don't want to speculate, of course. We couldn't really tell from up
for
here.
Sure.
They're going to get him some water. As he's still shaking up on the play, I'm sure he'll stay in the game. With not much time to go here, possibly with the Jackfish having the Maple Leafs down to their final strike. They've had them down to their final strike a few times, not able to put them away. And that was the story early on in the game. Kept getting ahead in counts, couldn't put away the hitters. And now it's happening again here in this 9th inning. But Bowato trying to change the story just a little bit so that the Jackfish can pick up this win.
Well, the count's still 2-2 with 2 outs and 2 base runners aboard, so a pretty tough spot for Bowato here. Only needs 1 strike, but a lot of pressure as he bats against the big man Salazzo.
Salazzo with 2 RBIs on the season, picked one up today back in the first inning, and the 2-2 pitch belted in the air right field. Moving back is Nicholson, still going back now at the track. He stops, and the ball drops. 1 runs in to score. Being held around third base is Takamatsu. And it's a 10-9 game.
You can't ask for much more than just to get that fly ball out, and he must have lost it. It was hit to the moon and lost it in the clouds. We talked about it a couple of times. We looked up, we lose the balls, but out of what a bad time for the Jackfish, as a fly ball out would have ended the ball game, but now the tying run 90 feet away, and now they have the go-ahead run at first base. So the pressure mounting even more, and the Jackfish still only 1 out away.
Aiden McCaskey comes up to the plate to face the lefty Bowato. It's inside. And it's 1-0, and you're right, it looked like Nicholson had a lot of trouble with it even right off the bat. It was popped way up in the air. He got back to the warning track, but it just felt in fair territory, and now Bowato falls behind. It's 2-0. And sometimes as a pitcher, those kind of plays where you get the ball in the air, you think the game's probably over, a defensive miscue, and now you got to focus back in and get this hitter because, like you said, the tying run is just 90 feet away. Popped up on the infield. Cocker's going to come out, now drifting into foul territory, reaches back, and he hangs on to make the catch. An adventure in the 9th inning for the Jackfish, but they come through to win it 10-9, a 1-run victory. And on that last play, once again, the ball was drifting back, and Cocker just hung on to it to finish the ball game.
Adventurous is a good word, as you say, as we went up and down and all around in this game. 19 runs scored, and when we saw a halfway point through this game, we thought the game was almost over. The Jackfish couldn't get anything going, had runners on the bases in scoring position, and they couldn't cash in anything. The pitching staff for Toronto extended late 130 pitches by Khan, unheard of for a junior pitcher. And now the Jackfish make him pay. The Toronto Maple Leafs, rather, come all the way back, try to earn it for Khan, pop one a couple to the moon, and with that, Sam Cocker, the catcher, does what he does best and catches the baseball and holds on, literally holds on, for a 10-9 win.
You can breathe, Jackfish fans.
Yeah, you can.
They win it 10-9, and we can breathe in the booth as well. A huge win. Jackfish now 4-0 to start this season, and these games haven't been easy either. They were down big against London. They were down big today against Toronto, but this team just doesn't have any quit in their DNA.
Well, when you think about it, we talked about this was the first ever time the Jackfish open up a season and have a 3-game win streak. They're down 7-0, looking like they're not going to be able to get 4, and they somehow find a way to come back again and extend the win streak to 4, and now are tied with the Barrie Bay Cats, who are also 4-0 to start the season. So a huge pivotal win at home to end this homestand before going on a 3-game road trip.
And now a quick turnaround for both teams. They got to play each other again tomorrow. That's at Christie Pitts. Jackfish going on the road for the first time on this young season, looking to start the season 5-0.
Not much more you can do. You have to be able to get wins on the road. We see they can win at home in a ballpark, which they've actually struggled with at times in the first couple of seasons. Unable to get a lot of timely hits here in this ballpark. They get 4 straight wins. Can't ask for much more. They'll start the road trip tomorrow at Christie Pitts. Tuesday, they'll get their first look at the Blue Jays' Dalton Pompey in Guelph, and then Thursday in Kitchener. So a tough week ahead as they got to play 3 games in just 5 days. So we'll see what happens when the Jackfish hit the road.
So thank you for coming along with us today. For Spencer Tangway, I'm Brendan Lang. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful evening. The Jackfish pull out a close one. They win it 10-9.